smelling the different things that are known throughout this city for smells. One could be a barbecue place, but then you could go off Front Street and smell that like industrial dog food smell.
That's what I really want. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Hey, that's better than no smell. You appreciate the
it's
smell.
It's not everything, though. It's more
even
like
the bad ones.
It's like it's more the soaps and certain smells like that, and like I could smell shaving cream and that. But like my dog's food, I still can't smell, which is fine with me right now because dog food smells terrible. But I still can't smell that.
You got to take the good with the bad, man.
For sure.
Can't just be getting the good smells back. We do continue to put more and more items up for the Cody Gold garage sale. So as soon as that site's active, we will let you know. We have an endless amount of Jake Eisenberg bobbleheads. He kindly donated a bunch to us, including a Jake Eisenberg experience where you can watch the broadcast. There's so much stuff. Whittison stuff. It's a garage sale, after all. We got lots of different things available to you, including a custom pair of painted shoes. That one I really like. The gentleman who does that for Greco Paintworks, with now Greco Muralist, he does like mural stuff for it. Do you see the one he did like of all the Chief stuff?
That's very cool.
So that's very cool. And the custom pairs of shoes he's done over the years for people who have bought this experience, they're awesome. The Sporting KC ones, the KC Current ones, they've all been really cool. So just keep an eye out for it. We'll let you know as the Cody Gold Garage Sale, again, just 13 days away on Wednesday, June 10th.
Yeah, all proceeds benefit the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. We'll hopefully have a landing page up on our website soon so you can start to preview the items on the auction site. We will get to the Royals in just a couple of minutes. We made an executive decision today and said, I'm not starting with the damn Royals.
I can't do it in the first second of the show. Can I just have 10 minutes to think about it?
Not again. Not again. So we'll get to them in a second. And they're being outscored by the Yankees 50-10. Yeah, 50-10 during this entire season series, and now being 22-34 on the season. And today on an off day, if we expect any changes to happen, I'll be honest, I don't. I would be shocked the way things are trending right now if they actually make a change based off of the way everybody's been talking. That would be surprising. I certainly think there needs to be some change, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's start differently, though. Let's start with the Chiefs for a little bit. OTAs are underway. And Ian Rappaport was talking yesterday just about a lot of big NFL storylines, right? And going in, he was filling everybody in on the Josh Jacobs stuff. He was talking about Derwin James' contract extension that he just got. He was talking about A.J. Brown as the calendar turns to June and how we could be seeing a trade at some point happen with the Patriots and the Eagles, for example. He also was discussing Rashee Rice. And I thought it was interesting. At one point, he brought up a scenario of the Chiefs franchise tagging Rashee Rice next year and having him not get traded but playing on the tag. Now, you know where I stand. I think you're aligned with me as well, which is I would not give him a contract extension. This should be his last year in Kansas City. So to hear Ian Rappaport say,
well, just franchise tag him, play him, and then get 2 years to decide if you want to give him an extension. I don't want more evidence to give him an extension.
That would, to me, still make no sense. He can go out there and have a great season. And I told you, I actually think he's going to. But if I tag him in January or February of 2027 or March, whatever, of 2027, the wide receiver franchise tag number will go up even more. It's already at $28 million. So I'm going to tag him, pay this dude $29 million against my cap next year. One, I don't think the Chiefs really can be in the spot to do that, or should they? But also, why would I reward him in that way? It makes no sense whatsoever. I firmly disagree with Ian Rappaport's suggestion that the Chiefs could just tag him and not trade him, because, again, who's going to trade for him on a $28 million franchise tag?
When he's been nothing but trouble the entire time he's been in the NFL, he'd have to have 1,500 yards to be tradable. 1,400 yards to be, like, genuinely tradable at $28 million for any kind of draft pick you'd care about. I guess getting a fourth is better than getting nothing. But is that what you'd get? If Rashee Rice had 1,350 yards and 7 touchdowns, and the Chiefs franchise tagged him, so he's owed $28 million and a long-term extension. And let's just say in this hypothetical, he also stayed out of trouble for 12 straight months, which he's been unable to do so far. So let's say he even stays out of trouble for that amount of time. What are you getting back? Third, fourth, fifth? I mean, it's not third would be dream scenario.
Not at the $28 million mark. Nobody's doing that.
A real desperate team is what it would take. Like the kind you get out of that trade and you're like, what are you doing, Jets? Why are you giving up what you're giving up? Or what are you doing? Why are you giving up, whatever you've given up over the years? When when the Colts gave it up for Sauce Gardner, you're like, what the hell are you doing? Nobody else would have paid that price. Why did you pay that price? And so if it's not that, I don't see a world in which you do it. I'll say the idea of, I don't like that Rappaport says it, because it makes me think that he's spoken to someone in the organization who's like, oh no, we got time on Rashee. We'll give him a whole year, see if he stays out of trouble. He puts up big numbers like we think. We'll just franchise him and do a whole nother year before we pay him, because some players, like it or not, are more dangerous to you the second they're paid. And at this point, why wouldn't Rashid likely be one of those players, Gold? You gave him $28 million in a franchise tag. You think now he's going to keep his nose clean? He couldn't do it so he could earn the money. He couldn't even do it when he was making nothing and has legal fees and is in trouble. And he's just going to get $28 million handed to him on a platter and just handle it? Also, it drives up his post number, in my opinion. You played him a full year on the franchise tag. He's not going to take less than $28 million on an extension. If he actually puts the numbers together, you're never going to want him here anyway. So you're going to pay him on an uncapped year, $28 million at a huge cap figure. You got to just play him this year and walk away and figure out something else at wide receiver. That's got to be the plan.
And I still think that's what's going to happen. I mean, but if for reference, if you look at this year, the $28 million cap hit, let's say it was this year, that would be third on the team. I just don't believe. Like this year, Chris Jones has $44.8 million cap hit. Patrick Mahomes, 34.6. Trey Smith, just under $25 million cap hit. So fast forward to next year in this hypothetical from Ian Rappaport, if you tagged Rice at the current rate, which it could go up from there, 28, he's going to have the third highest cap hit on your team? I don't think so. While you're still going to have Chris Jones with a massive cap hit.
$44 million, whatever
Patrick Mahomes' number, and Trey Smith and Nick Bolton. I don't think that scenario ends up being where they go and the path they head down, but I thought it was interesting that Ian Rappaport even suggested that.
No, and I guess that's, in the end, the part but he's suggesting it, which means it's coming from somewhere. I don't think he's just wildly speculating because nobody really knows what to do with Rice. The Chiefs' plan, I still think that they would have genuinely considered giving him a long-term extension before this most recent trouble. You and I were against it, but I think before that trouble goal, they would have just been like, you know what? He puts up 1,200 yards this year. He's going to be a discount. You can't, hard to find bottom end, number one wide receivers top end for cheap. Even look what T. Higgins makes, right? Doesn't come cheap. He makes $30 million a year. So it's like, it doesn't come cheap. So like maybe you talk yourself into it, especially because at the moment, they don't have the type of wide receiver Rashee Rice is anywhere on the roster. Even if Xavier Worthy takes a big step forward, he doesn't do what Rice does, which is you need a guy who gets the majority of the targets, the majority of the yards, and does a majority of the grunt work. Worthy can work, Gold, but he'll never look the way Rice looks in the offense, I guess is how I'm saying it. It's not like a knock on Worthy, he just does a different thing than Rice does. And so they don't have a long-term answer there, and I fear that desperation will convince them to do something like this. A franchise tag I like that even less than just cutting him. I might like that less than just giving him an extension today for like way below market value. The idea of paying him $28 million, I hate that. Hate it.
Someone says, what about trade him during the season? Well, that means you think the Chiefs season turns out to be a disaster. The only way that's happening is if you think the Chiefs bottom out and it's before the deadline and there's all kinds of injuries and the team sucks and they're pacing for another 6-win season.
I don't want to be rooting for that. Because I don't think they're going to – the only way they would trade – and this is the other part. Big, massive, in-season NFL trades, rare. Not unheard of, not 0%, but that's not a common –
that's not going to happen unless the Chiefs would truly have to be 1-7. Yeah, they would have to be awful. They'd have to be 3-9. It would have to be.
And they're 1-7 and what? Rashee Rice has 1,000 yards. How the hell did this whole story play out?
Right. He probably. By the way, in that scenario, he's probably hurt.
Yeah. Like, how'd they finish 1-7 and Rashee Rice is good enough to trade for?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't. Some of it just doesn't. I don't think they can align.
I agree.
I don't think those things, because if they're 5-2 and Rashee Rice has 600 yards 7 games into the season, well, they're sure as hell not going to trade him. They're not going to walk on the season and just say, we'll get him next year. They're not in that position, and they're never going to be in that position with Patrick Mahomes. This goes back to what we said about Bobby Wood Jr. yesterday. There is no year with Patrick Mahomes in which my suggestion will be take a seat back this year and don't even make an attempt at the division. What? Hell no. Maybe make the argument of, hey, you don't have to rush everything this year. You can be competitive. You can put a good team together, but don't sell your soul.
You don't mortgage the future. You're trying to build a sustainable another 4-year run. And I think that's what the Chiefs are attempting to do right now in the middle in their franchise currently. We'll get back to the Chiefs here in 20 minutes or so as it pertains to the offense. And what does it look like if they are back to a top-tier offense in the National Football League? But let's talk a little Royals baseball. So don't forget, this year we've partnered with KCUC, who's donating $50 to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for every home run the boys of blue hit this season. 1 in 8 men will face prostate cancer. Early detection saves lives, and at KCUC, Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. You see the best in KC. Scheduled today at kcuc.com. All right, Royals have an off day today. We all know what happened.
You think something's going to happen?
No. I think there should be something that happens, but I know why.
Falter yesterday.
Well, come on now.
I'm just saying they did something.
That's as low on the totem pole as it gets. A guy that was in the bullpen, that was in the minors earlier to start the season, a guy that then was bitching that he didn't know he was supposed to pitch. I mean, that guy, he knew he was done the minute that game was over 2 nights ago. So the Bailey Falter DFA, that's not a move that we're talking about. I mean, that's not what you're asking me the question for. You're asking me if there is a more significant move after a homestand. Yeah. You had a 1-7 road trip and a 2-9 homestand. You get swept by the Yankees, flat out embarrassed. How about that?
9 or 10 on the road coming up.
50-10, you're outscored in the season series against the Yankees. They've won 14 straight, including the postseason, against you. Yesterday, Noah Cameron gave you a chance to win. No offense whatsoever, though. And you're 22-34. As you said, they're getting ready to go on a long road trip. The calendar is getting ready to turn to the month of June, so no more of this. It's early crap. They're basically a third of the way through the season. And so, look, I'm not suggesting that when teams move on from individuals that it automatically means instant success. Now, there's some examples of that this year. I mean,
sure.
Don Mattingly Jr., or not Jr., Don Mattingly and the Phillies, of course, it so far has panned out well for them.
Didn't do anything for the Red Sox, though.
Didn't do anything for the Red Sox, though. There's plenty of examples where somebody gets fired and nothing changes. So this is not the idea that suddenly they're going to go rattle off 10 in a row if they make a change. But I think for fans and keeping your fans interested and believing that you as an organization are trying to win, an organization telling fans that they understand what has happened this year is not acceptable, yeah, I do think there has to be a change. Now, I don't think Matt Quachero should be fired. I don't think J.J. Picollo should be fired at this point. No. However, your hitting coach, somebody else in the organization, a hitting coach that you should have got rid of a year ago, absolutely. Yeah, that would at least show fans that you understand this is not acceptable. An offense that is, 28th in baseball? Another year of pitiful offense? And I know you can say, well, Salvador Perez, like the hitting coach, what do you want Alex Zumwalt to do with him? He's a vet. He's got to hit. What about everybody else, though? At some point, somebody does have to be responsible for the results on the field. And maybe it's not at the very highest levels yet. But somebody, and sends the message to the clubhouse, et cetera. There just has to be something to show fans, though, that you actually understand this is not acceptable, other than just be patient with us. Yeah, just be patient. That doesn't work anymore.
So I guess a lot of this is the way, and look, I hate to say this because it makes it seem like I'm just punting on the season, but the 12 games under 500.
It is over, Cody.
And they just, I know, but I tried not.
And I know it sucks. I know it sucks.
I try not to give up on any of the teams if I can.
I understand.
The way I'm viewing the season moving forward, rather than just being like, well, it's over for you fools, the way I'm viewing the rest of the season is I would like the organization to prove to me that their long-term plan still makes sense, still works. You still have some idea of what you're doing. And some of it might be exactly what you're saying, but also winning more the rest of the way could prove to me that at least you got some things internally or working or solutions to problems that at least makes me think that this isn't a everyone's gotta go situation. You got to spend the rest of this year re-earning the trust from everybody, because that's really what it's about, that your approach to winning from top to bottom has a system, works. So if that is just getting David Shields and Kendry Churio to AA, or getting somebody else from AA to it can't just be those things. But show me that the organization is heading in a direction. If you call up a guy from AAA later and they're slightly successful in the big leagues, maybe you have some idea of who can and cannot help your team right now. And stop letting innings go to guys like Falter. Don't just throw the team to the wolves, I guess. Keep trying to win. Keep trying to show that the organization has direction. Make savvy trades later if that's what it takes. But I'm officially in the prove it. Prove that you're the right people for the job. And right now, trust is at an all-time low in your fan base in that department. There's plenty of people who don't think that they got the right coaches, the right front office people, the right players, the right whatever, right? And so how do you prove over the next 100 games that this was a bad start, not a bad process? And right now, all-time low for that. So how can you, over the next 100 games, prove that it's just oops, we screwed up, and we're going to we actually have some things that will help us the rest of the way? That That's really how I'm looking at the rest of the season. It's going to be hard to do.
Because player-wise, there's not, you say what action can they show player-wise that shows that this is not acceptable? I don't know what they really can do from a player perspective.
Other than they can just play better,
No. I'm talking about from a move standpoint. They're not DFAing some veteran that's been here for years. Salvador Perez not going anywhere. Vinny Pasquantino's not going anywhere. Obviously, you're not doing anything with the guys at the top of the order. So what I'm saying is, from a personnel standpoint, the only change you can make is coaching or management. That is it. They're not DFAing somebody. You mentioned Bailey Falter. That doesn't count. There's nobody else that they're making a true roster move on at this point in time.
Player-wise, they can prove it just by the guys that they entrusted play better.
Well, no kidding. Yeah, that would have been the answer a month ago.
Sure, I'm not talking about I'm talking long-term now. Like, prove that these are still the people to go to war with.
Right. Well, that is the rest of the season. I mean, frankly, the future of a lot of guys, and whether or not this group is and that will impact the future of the front office as well and management, no doubt going forward. But I'm just saying there were also players, while there's a lot that have not performed up to their standard this year, no kidding, there were also, though, players that I think they were way too loyal to and trusted, and when that doesn't work, that backfires in your face. There are consequences to that. We've talked a ton about Carlos Estevez. Yes, Carlos did not position himself to be ready for this season, which is unacceptable. It's a lost year for him. He's given you absolutely nothing this year. However, the organization also trusted him when he was slow to ramp up. They said, oh, no, this happened last year. We trust him. Well, that you were wrong on that. Yeah, that backfired, and it is a big reason why the bullpen, not the only reason, but big reason why the bullpen sucks.
Oh, it's the biggest reason, probably. But it's also tough because, and this is what stinks about trust is, they were scared to, but trusted him last year and it worked out. So then they're like, we'll trust you again, Carlos. Wrong this time. Like Vinny, trusting him every year makes sense.
You brought up the Jonathan India thing, right? These are all big mistakes.
I will say it was one of the biggest knocks I had in the Dayton Moore era, so I don't want to point out that they have moved roster pieces more than the previous era. But I would say that their loyalty remains too high. Like, loyalty of, I'm going to prove that I'm right. Like, you didn't need to be loyal to Jonathan India. The trade didn't work. I said it from the beginning. And I understood, what Vern was saying yesterday, which is that's a very difficult move to make if you're J.J. Piccolo. But the right move to make was to say, this isn't going to work. And then we need to find somebody else to play second base. And in the long run, this isn't the solution here. And so it's difficult things sometimes. But you got to know, just because the guy that, sometimes it's making the difficult decision. Just because this guy led the majors in saves last year, you and I could see the regression part of it coming from a mile away. He wasn't going to be that good, even if he's not bad, right? Or hurt like he is now. He was not going to be that good. So you better have a backup plan to the rest of it. I still say that Salvi and Vinny were the hardest ones to predict. Some of the other things that went wrong, you and I could have seen coming. Maybe you could have seen Reagan's getting hurt coming, right? Some of Noah Cameron's slight regression. Only pitched pretty good
yesterday. Two outings in a row. Yeah.
So I don't have any complaint about the way he's throwing right now. But those things, you got to be mindful of it, and that's where you run into it. And so the rest of the season for me right now is just prove that these are still the right people to do the job across the board. That these are the players you trust that just got a bad start and they'll be better, and that the moves you're making or the things you're doing make sense and have a plan. But the plan was supposed to be at its fruition now is the biggest issue. The buildup was for now. So, you were supposed to be good now. Not I have to trust you to be good 2 years from now, we're in some long rebuild and I'm trying to figure it out. You were already supposed to be good.
Yeah, they were supposed to compete to win the AL Central, and it's the exact opposite right now. And it's a year in which the Tigers also stink. So this is not even a year in which you're right, oh, well, the Tigers are really... No, this was a year where the division was right there for you. Yeah. Right freaking there for you.
No, the Guardians are, once again, Guardians every year. I'm done. I'm picking the Guardians to win the division for the next 40 years straight. And I'll be right 30 somehow, even though half the time they'll have the worst of the rosters. But they got the second worst record in the American League again. The only team with the worst record is the Angels. The Tigers somehow right there with them tied. Ooh. Which, again, Tigers should be equally as disappointed. Both these teams thought they were going to compete for the division, and they are, 10 games back or whatever the hell it is of the Cleveland Guardians. They're not even close. But you're right. The idea of it was at least within reach. It's not even a good wild card year. I think that also frustrates me, Gold. The team right now currently in possession of the final wild card spot is the Chicago White Sox at 28 and 27. Are you serious? You let a 500 White Sox team
Well, when they played them,
hold you. All you do is 500.
When they played them a week or so ago, I think that's the part that is there's a lot of damning things about the 2026 Royals right now for everybody involved. But I would say seeing the White Sox go from where they were just 2 years ago as an organization,
worst record in Major League Baseball history,
to now where we'll see what the rest of the season brings. Maybe the White Sox will fall apart. I don't know. But seeing where they're at as an organization and looking like a team that could make the playoffs this year to where they've leapfrogged the Royals, that's really troubling. Really troubling for this organization.
It's damning in a lot of ways. Who is the White Sox GM? Is that Chris Getz?
I believe that's accurate, yeah.
Chris Getz still hurting the Royals. What? Oh, no, sorry. It's, it is Chris Getz. Vice President, General Manager, Chris Getz.
Yeah, they've turned that thing around.
When will he stop? When will he stop this pain against the Royals? But yeah, Gold, like we said, I don't want to start every show talking about the Royals. And after a while, right now, it feels like we have to because it's just gotten so bad. Like, it's not just bad. It's gotten kind of ugly. Not something I was anticipating, admittedly, and kind of thought at some point this thing would I thought it'd stabilize a little, even if they couldn't make up all the ground. Instead, they keep losing. They're getting ready to start a 9 or 10 game road trip. They're 7-17 on the road, Gold. They're 15-17 at home. At least they're a passable team. They were an above 500 team at home before the Yankees came to town and, roughed you up. What'd you say it was, 50-10 this season?
Yeah,
50-10 in 6 games?
6 games.
So
yes, I understand 15-1 was part of that, but it doesn't matter. 50-10, it's embarrassing.
Well, it's 22-1 the last 2 games.
Absolutely embarrassing.
That's certainly boosting those numbers. Should have really gotten that one on Monday. Damn. Could have at least salvaged a game in this series. That was the one you let get away, but it didn't. They're 12 games under 500. They're going to have to play excellent baseball.
This is what it feels like watching them play and just not happen.
Yeah.
When I turned that game on, when I turned that game on, whatever it was, Monday or a Tuesday, and they were up after Bobby had hit, and then they lost the game. That was the first thing that popped into my head was the Price is Right, you lose the game sound.
Yeah. It is starting.
I thought you were going to play Yakety Sax because that's also a good song to describe the season at times too.
They did have that ball go off. They immediately last night they ran into an out at home with Michael Massey, and then the very next inning, kicked around the ball in left field that scored 2 runs for the Yankees, and I'm like, well,
that's tough.
Probably all she wrote tonight. Unfortunately, is how I felt. Like, damn, just immediate turn of event. And why do they keep and this is not. Stop sending Massey from third when Aaron Judge is in right field or some other good. Maybe don't risk it. You need a lot of runs against the Yankees.
That's another coaching.
Not one run in the second.
KYP.
That's another coaching change that should also have happened as well. So
or KTP, I guess in this case, because it's not your personnel. It's know the personnel that you're dealing with. Aaron Judge, know the personnel.
All right, coming up next, let's move over to the Chiefs a little bit. Let's talk more about the offense and also AI being used in sports more and more, including with one NFL team.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
As everyone by now knows, the world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade the entire tournament over on Kalshi. On Kalshi, you can trade every match from the opening stage all the way to the final. So, for instance, right now you can take a look over at Kalshi and see that the Netherlands, someone who's coming here, is trading at a little over 4%, which means if you were to invest 50, you could get a return of $1,100 on them to win the big tournament. And so you got to think about the way you want to do this and take a look at what some of the other options are available. It depends. They got all the different matches and all the different nations available to you over on Kalshi, with those trading numbers changing daily. So you can keep an eye out on how you want the market to look. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there is no house, and as probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. And for a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get $10 when you trade 10. K-A-L-S-H-I, Kalshi. Trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. Outside faucets are annoying. They are finicky. Sometimes even when you disconnect the hose, they freeze, or they hobble along all summer and then finally break. We are currently running our outside faucet replacement special of $399 with access. This is a pretty good deal. If you haven't used us yet, we would love to win you over. Visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
Hi, folks. Bob, Blue Springs Ford. Hey, Blaine. I know we've got employee pricing going on right now for everyone, but what's the difference in pricing?
Great question. 2026 Escape starting at $26,000.
That's thousands of dollars off.
2026 Expeditions?
Oh, I know this is going to be good.
How about up to $10,000 off MSRP? And Lightning up to $18,000 off. Plus, you get a lifetime powertrain warranty for free.
Folks, go to BlueSpringsFord.com right now, because this ends soon.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderson Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Go to bagkc.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob Brennan from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the upcoming World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Dana and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC features the biggest names who helped make the World Cup in Kansas City possible. And there was a lot of work, plus the major storylines heading into this summer's tournament.
This is so much more. This isn't just a podcast about soccer.
No, you're right, Rob. It's a podcast about Kansas City, for Kansas City, telling the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, along with video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
So make sure you subscribe. Download Beyond the Pitch KC with Rob Brennan and myself, Scott Parks, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Chuck McDowell here with Red Pocket Mobile. How long have you been stuck with the same phone plan? 2 years? 5? 10? Are you tired of surprise fees and confusing bills that never match what you thought you were paying? Cut the nonsense.
Right now at redpocket.com, new and existing customers adding a line can get our premium 5G plan for just $5 a month. That's only $60 a year.
And here's the kicker. Red Pocket Mobile gives you access to all 3 5G networks. You pick the one that works best where you live or work, or switch anytime for better coverage. And with Red Pocket, you keep your phone and your number. Why in the world would you not switch? Red Pocket Mobile, your new ultimate cell carrier.
Celebrate Memorial Day with big savings from Red Pocket Mobile. Right now, new and existing customers can get our premium 5G plan for just $5 a month. Just $60 a year, and choose from all 3 major 5G networks with one locked-in low price at redpocket.com. That's redpocket.com. redpocket.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. But wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Royals coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
At Metal by the Foot, we pride ourselves on delivering the highest quality metal to meet your exact needs. Located in Casey and Topeka, online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Back here on Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. Coming up in about 12 minutes, we'll get to the latest update on Patrick Mahomes. We all know, we saw the video the other day. OTAs are underway. And you guys are going to have to help me out a little bit because I don't know why a certain doctor keeps on triggering Chiefs fans on social media. I don't understand why Chiefs fans are so upset. I truly, you're going to have to walk me through it a little bit. We'll play you the latest audio from a former NFL team doctor evaluating Patrick Mahomes from what he sees. Oh, his opinion, but yet everybody's all sensitive about it. It's very bizarre to me, and Drew and I disagree firmly on it as well. So we'll get to that coming up a little bit later on this half hour. You guys can interact with us, 913-586-7965 on the J Southland Tow Service text line. Thinking of the Chiefs, and Patrick Mahomes, of course, is going to have to be a big part of this conversation we're about to have. But what's your number one argument of the Chiefs actually becoming a top 5 offense again? Remember, they were outside the top 10 last year. If you were wondering, from a points per game is what we're talking about here. And so the Chiefs were 21.3 point per game offense. I understand some of that was with Chris Oladokun as well. But for context, to get into the top 10 last year, you need to be closer to 25.9 or so points per game. So the Rams were number 1 in football, 30.5 points. The Patriots, Seahawks, Bills, Lions, Jags, Cowboys, Colts, Bears, Niners. That is right around your top 10 from a year ago.
So I guess I was trying to think about what needs to take place. First off, the running game has to get better. Well, good news on that front. Kenneth Walker's in the building now. So, instantaneously, the run game is better. I don't even have to think that hard about it. It's better. It's notably better. So the first part of the problem is essentially, in my opinion, already solved. I don't have to look for a solution. I don't have to hope somebody plays better. They got a running game at least 20% better than last year's running game. That would have been step 1 to getting them to a top 5 offense anyway. Step 2 is at least one of the 2 wide receivers actually being able to get open against man coverage. Rashee Rice or Xavier Worthy have to have, I think, career years. One of them. As in, Xavier Worthy's got to have 900 yards, or Rashee Rice has got to have 1,100. Somebody's got to go out and have the career year. If they're going to be a top 5 offense, one of those 2 guys has got to really step up. And I think you got to get at least 90% of Travis Kelce from last season. If those 3 things happen and the offensive line stays, and Jalen Moore is not a turnstile at right tackle, and Simmons doesn't miss time for unknown reasons again, and those are the, I think, easier ones to accomplish. Those 5 things take place, Gold, I'd say that's a top 5 offense. I don't think it's as many steps as we would make it out to be.
I think a big part of it is the explosive plays. And we say this every year. It's been a problem for a couple of years. But the explosive plays and the best chance of getting that likely is going to be in the run game this year. That has not been the case for a while. They had 115 plays, 15 or more last year. Okay, if you're wondering, the year before they only had 105. So it was actually, ironically enough, it was actually better last year than there was the year before in explosive plays. Go back to the best years of the Chiefs offense, right? 2018, 2019. In 2018, they had 248 plays of 15 or more yards. In 2019, they had 142. Back in 2020, 192. The highest they've had in the last 4 years was in 2022. They had 217. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think one of the criteria, they don't have to have 200 plays of 15 or more, but it has to be significantly up from the 115 from last year. And I think they have a chance in the run game to get that because of Kenneth Walker. I remember the day he signed with Kansas City.
He led the NFL in that stat last year?
The day he signed with Kansas City, we went through some of those metrics,
Yeah.
right? And there's a huge difference. I think it's well documented at this point in time last year how with Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, and that backfield, while Kareem Hunt was effective in short yardage, Pacheco, the explosive plays were not there whatsoever. And it was a big reason why it was time to move on from Isaiah Pacheco. They just could not get that. And so Kenneth Walker gives them the opportunity to turn an 8-yard run into a 15-yard run or a 15-yard run into a 20-plus yard run. So that is one of the key criteria. I agree with you on the fact that you got to have guys that can win one-on-one. And the only two guys that are probably going to be able to potentially do that, of course, are Worthy and Rashee Rice. They can go sign Stephon Diggs, they can go sign Tyreek Hill. They can't count on either one of those signings, if that's what they do, to actually elevate them, in my opinion, to making them the top 5 offense. Maybe I don't view either of those as the difference of them being the 10th best offense and the 5th. Maybe you think it's a much bigger deal if they bring in one of them. For me, it's going to have to be Rice or Worthy and Kenneth Walker and Travis Kelce. They can sign Tyreek Hill, who maybe joins them in the middle of the season. That's not going to turn them into a top 5 offense, in my opinion.
I guess what I want to point out is, I think sometimes it's a bit of a misnomer because Patrick Mahomes hasn't been as good at throwing the deep ball lately. Undeniable. But also, he was only 8 in-air 20-plus yard completions away from being the 4th best in the NFL last year with nobody getting open deep. So, it's not like a huge step away as you think. Look, he'd have been long off of Matthew Stafford's number, fine. But he was only 4 off 40-plus yard completions from leading the league in 40-plus yard completions. His problem last year was, in my opinion, the 20-plus yard gain stuff is not Patrick Mahomes' problem. It is a wide receivers who get open problem or wide receivers who can catch the ball from 8 yards and go 20, and a running back problem, as in you can run the ball for 20 yards. An explosive player problem. And so, if Worthy's healthy or old, or coaching.
And it's where, I don't know, I'm sure we'll talk about it in St. Joe. I don't want to, are we overinflating how bad it was with Connor Embry as the old wide receiver coach?
He was an unqualified coach. It feels like a pretty big step up.
And I'm excited to see what O'Shea can do. I'm just saying, has it gotten too far where we're now just acting like...
maybe.
But I bare minimum, I know they're going to have a guy that knows what the hell he's doing coaching NFL players. He's got the track record. And I don't think they had a guy coaching wide receivers a year ago that was doing that. And so for Worthy's development, Eric Bieniemy holding maybe Rashee Rice on the field accountable, and guys that were not running correct routes or half-assing it, that kind of stuff, that should get cleared up, and that might lead to a lot better result.
Yeah, and again, I don't think it's a big Mahomes problem. I think sometimes we make it out to be he's just missing these guys deep. They can't get open deep.
Some of the time. That's some of the time.
He's missed some throws. I'm not an idiot. But if you watched enough NFL football across the board, I think sometimes people get in their head that every other quarterback's just hitting every pass over 40 yards. It's just not happening. And so some of the misses, yes, he could tighten that up and hit 2 or 3 more. But some of it is they need players who can take an 8-yard pass and go 25. They need a running back who can take a handoff and go 20. They had almost no explosive runs last year. Every single explosive run they had last year was from Patrick Mahomes. That can't be the source of your explosive run rate. And the fact that they finally traded for a guy in signed a guy in Kenneth Walker, who was as good as anyone in the NFL while actively facing some of the most difficult fronts in the NFL because nobody trusted Sam Darnold at the time, I'd say that's a pretty good sign, don't you? I don't think it takes as much. I don't think it's a huge leap. They could be a top 5 offense this year. The problem is that I could just as easily make a list for how they end up in the bottom 15, 15th. It's hard for me to get them to 15th.
Are we talking points per game? Is that what makes?
Yeah, that's always the marker.
I actually don't think it's a single player. I don't think it matters that Xavier Worthy has a career. I don't think it matters that Rashee Rice does. They got to be better in the red zone. That's it. If we're talking points per game, they got to be better in the red zone. In 2024, because last year was a mixed bag. They weren't that great. And they were fine on third down last year, but it didn't matter. In 2024, they averaged about 23 points per game, which put them at 12th. Red zone touchdown percentage, they were 21st in the league at 54.5%. And I think we've talked about the red zone issues a lot over the last couple of years. If they make it, I don't know, they score on 5 more percent, they're in the top 10 in the NFL. And I think that 5 more percent, in terms of what 2024 was,
worse in the red zone.
In terms of what 2024 was scoring wise, to be a top 5 offense, they needed to average 6 more points per game. If you score,
why are we looking at 2 years ago? Why not last year? I guess why are we going back 2 years ago?
Because Patrick Mahomes was
hurt for part of it.
I mean, Mahomes only missed 3 or 4 games. He didn't miss half the
that's
season.
fair.
I mean, if you want me to look at 2025,
Well, I'm
then
just
that's
saying,
completely fine because the
red
numbers
zone
get
stuff
fudged.
wasn't good last year either. I guess I don't. The red zone numbers from 2 years ago is not as. What
Weren't even in the
last
red
year?
zone the final 3 games.
No, I'm just saying if you want me to go off last year, they were 20th. They were 20th in points per game last year.
Right.
They needed to get in top 5. They needed to have a touchdown. They needed to have 6 more points. So I guess roughly the same as 2025. They needed 6 more points per game essentially to get there. In 2025, they were 12th. They actually were better in red zone touchdown scoring percentage last year, but in terms of them being better, if they score on 5 more % of the time touchdowns in the red zone, that might be enough to get them into the top 5 offense from just a scoring perspective.
I think
if we're just talking points, they got to be better in the red zone. It doesn't matter whether it's Rasheed, whether it's Xavier, Travis Kelce, whoever they want to use.
But wouldn't you say it's going to have to be those guys, though, right? I mean, it's like it's got to be those guys that make them better in the red
the
zone.
concept of Xavier Worthy's got to have 900 yards to me for them to be a top 5 offense. I don't think that's necessarily true. They just got to be better in the red zone.
Yeah,
it is weird because this team. One thing that has been consistently true about them is they move the ball, even in the years in which you're like their offense is no good. They're always close to the league in like sustainable, like number of plays per drive.
Between the 20s, they're great.
Yeah, they move the football. They've consistently done that even last year when the offense wasn't any good. They can get the ball down the field, yards per drive, first downs converted. Like they do that as high a rate as anybody in the NFL. And then points, because the other part of that too, and I'll say something that has hurt them in the points that we don't want to talk about as much is kicking. They make a lower percentage of the kick than most teams in the NFL. So, Drew, to get to your 6 points per game, that could also be like
one more field goal. Yeah.
Well, a couple of field goals throughout the season. It doesn't have to all be touchdowns, but over a 17-game season, maybe make 5 more field goals. Okay, I've made up now. I've made up some of the points. I've made it 18 of the points I need if I got to get to 100.
And you were saying Harrison Butker's been a below-average kicker?
He has been. Statistically.
Over the last couple of years now.
For the last 5 years, he's below average, technically on aggregate. But he's had a couple of years in there where he was above average.
How many red zone turnovers did the Chiefs have last year? I feel like there were a couple there.
Mahomes, remember the
Jags game for sure.
Jags game, the Kelce, one off Kelce's fingertips. There was a couple of those. And so I don't know the exact final number, but I'd be curious. Was it 3? Was it 5? Clearly, that's points off the board right away. To Drew's point about the red zone. I mean, if this team is not turning the ball over in the red zone, you would like to think you're at least coming away with some points.
Let's see. Because you know what the thing is it was the problem genuinely was they were the worst. They seemingly were like, it was in the worst games. It wasn't every game. It was just like the worst game at the worst moment. I thought this was just somebody talking about who was the best and the worst. That's giveaways in the red zone. The Jags actually were the worst in the NFL. They gave away six turnovers in the red zone, which is crazy. I'll have to look it up.
I'm guessing it was like 3 for the Chiefs. 3 turnovers.
I mean, we just rattled off at least 2 of them that come to mind for sure.
And if you said the league lead was 6, so we know it's somewhere in between that range. So
the answer for how many red zone turnovers should you have in a season should always be 0. Sometimes you turn the ball over. It happens.
If you want to be a top 5 offense, probably.
The only place you don't turn it over is the damn red zone.
Yeah.
Take the 3, right? Like all the stuff we joke about, like do what you got to do, but don't give it away there.
Yeah, these aren't red zone numbers, just in general. What the Chiefs were basically middle of the NFL or so in turnover differential last year, like smack dab in the middle. I think, they were -1 turnover differential, and they had 15 giveaways and 14 takeaways. So there's your differential right there.
Yeah, but I mean, you got it. Some of that comes from pressing. I think, admittedly, some of those red zone turnovers are just Patrick Mahomes trying to do anything he could to save a game, and he shouldn't be thinking.
That's where, and someone points out on the text line is as we're talking about the offense being better and the turnovers and all that, and how much do you buy into the regression of the mean kind of stuff? A year ago they were winning all the close games. Last year it was the opposite. We talk about the Broncos winning all the close games. Now people are wondering, is it going to come back to the mean this year? Well, will it balance out again for the Chiefs, where they went from winning all the one-score games to losing just about every single one-score game?
I'll take 50-50. Just average would be fine, wouldn't it?
Yes. Yes, at this point.
The red zone stuff, too, is also the frustration with Andy Reid and the play calling as well. It was the running on 2nd and long. It was, you're not going for it in this situation when you went for it before and all that stuff, too. It was reading the game and all that other stuff, too.
All right, let's briefly touch on something that's happening in the NBA and also in the NFL. And I think it's no secret teams are going to use this, but to what extent? AI is everywhere. We know that. There was a report yesterday from NBC that the Jets' new front office culture is using AI first, quote, to think AI first. Now, every team uses AI in some form or fashion. Now, it may not be to the extent. What did you make of Sports Business Journal saying the Jets have fully embraced it? And to the point where not only them, but 91% of the team's front office uses AI on a day-to-day basis. Roughly 100 days ago, only a handful of the team's employees used it.
I'll say, the idea of running a multi-billion-dollar business and being like, hey, AI, should I give Breece Hall a contract? Are you insane? This is insane behavior for an already bad franchise.
But that's like the fear-mongering stuff, though, about AI. Like, you're acting as if the GM is saying, should we start this
in the
quarterback
Jets case, I think it might be what's going on.
Should we start this guy this week? Oh, well, AI says yes, so Aaron Glenn, you got to do that. Like, come on, that's not what's happening.
What do you think they're using it
I think
for?
they're using it to help make their decisions. It's not making the decision, right? There's a difference. Using AI to help make decisions versus it making the decision for you.
My deep fear is that these teams do not understand that this cannot just take over what you get into in the human thought. And look, if it's working through some of your processes to speed them up so you can spend more time coming up with plays, fine. If any assistant coach ever types in, give me a good play, that's insane. And look, I'll be honest.
But again, that's
the fact that the Jets are being AI first. They don't get the benefit of the doubt. They're one of the worst run franchises in NFL history.
They do stink.
We'll see if they continue to improve. Then maybe there's something to it.
But to what you just said, like the Jets stinking this year is not going to be because they used AI more than other teams.
No,
they suck already. Aaron Glenn should have been fired this past offseason.
I don't think that it'll be in that case. I think becoming heavily reliant on it is a mistake. Not fear-mongering. I think that's just a mistake for this level of business.
I think we're just being disingenuous. Like this top text, same thing what you're saying. How do you know that's not what the Jets are doing? Because common sense, come on now. Aaron Glenn is not on the sideline this season, guys, with a tablet and plugging in what play should I call. Okay, it says we should run. All right, we're going to go out of shotgun trips, right? Like, come on.
No, but is it so crazy to think
ridiculous.
that he runs his entire first 15 through an AI generator and say, does this look like a good first 15? That would be equally as bad, in my opinion. I don't think he's sitting on the sideline doing it, but I don't think Copilot needs to look over your first 15 and decide whether or not that's successful.
I'm guessing
they're
using AI more in the front office than they are in the coaching staff.
Yeah, from like a numbers perspective to determine. But I also think
for cap, for projections, for the salary cap, that kind of stuff is my guess of what they're using the AI more than it is like telling our defensive line coach how to coach up our defensive linemen.
Well, I don't think he's typing in what are good hand drills for, defensive linemen. I don't think it goes that far, but I do think that the Jets just being like, we'll be the first and we'll just use it all the time. Like, oh, big mistake. Big mistake. It's not like it. And look, they're saying it went from a handful about 100 days ago to 2 or 3 prompts per day per employee. That's a lot. You can't tell me they're not doing actual football stuff, and those are just
I'm going to plug in 2 quarterbacks numbers for the upcoming draft. Which one do you think I should select? That's the line
someone
you're talking
ever
about,
types
Cody.
that, I think fireable. Like, that's too far.
But it's saying employee. I know we're in the sports talk world, and we're just thinking only GM and coach. Employee, this could be their marketing person. This could be their ticket sales. This could be their sponsorship coordinator.
Is that kind of front office?
No, but I'm saying the article is talking about employees.
I know, but they mentioned front office, so I was just asking.
I'm sure everybody is using it in some form or fashion, but acting as if every employee is using it too. You're making it seem like it's just the GM and the coach that are using it. I'm saying there's also in the Chiefs organization, the Jets organization, or whatever you and I both know, there's a million employees that they're not directly related on the field stuff that could be using AI, ticketing, marketing, etc.
I was trying to look it up.
Media.
I think this came up during the draft.
I like the way they're using it in the NBA better than this. Go ahead, Drew.
Well, I was going to say because there's an ESPN article is referenced in it, but teams like the Niners, Vikings, and Cowboys rely on AI to simulate draft scenarios, analyze computer vision, calculate true game speed, and project player scheme fits. It does feel like that. Like that's
I don't know why that's a bad thing.
Yeah, but if you're telling me, hey man, does this guy fit into our scheme instead of letting AI tell you whether or not they do, as opposed to going to a pro day and watching the film yourself. I don't know.
Nobody's saying that they're not still evaluating play. I think this is what I'm saying. I think you guys are taking it to the extreme, like as if now that they're not sending scouts anywhere.
Oh, I'm not saying they're not sending.
I'm just saying it. Yeah, it just feels like the draft side is where you're getting to it. more than anything else.
The NBA is saying they're just going to use it to like determine calls in the sideline.
That makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's going to just be like the Hawkeye thing.
Yeah, who's got to complain about that? Honestly, I'm so tired of them standing over. I think that they should. I actually think we need to dumb sports back down in some ways. I don't need you to slow motion 70 view replay if it touched the guy's shorts. Just call it in or out. Whoever you said it was off of, fine by me. I don't care.
The one play in question, the official was staring right at the play and saw it go off Chet's foot, and he still said it was thunder ball.
And the truth is, I don't
Tony
care.
Brothers and James Capers had a very, very, very bad evening the other day.
But Drew, the thing is, I think it evens itself out over time, and I don't care. I just don't care anymore. Especially for calls like that, unless you can do it instantaneous. Why can't they just get to the Hawkeye or the baseball version? The guy taps his helmet, he says it's a strike, we move on. It goes off the guy's shorts. You look for 2 seconds, you determine.
The NBA is doing.
Yeah, that's what they're talking
That's exactly
about.
what they're about to do.
Good.
Yeah.
Glad.
Yeah.
Because the amount of time they stand looking at the table like idiots.
Yeah.
Talking over, it's insane.
The
it
out of
takes
bounds
so long.
calls are going to be reversed within like 10 seconds now, going forward. It's the same as the tennis technology. It's what Adam Silver was saying on I think McAfee yesterday was talking about it.
I guess the other part about these draft simulations, someone said, did Veach say something about delaying in AI simulations? I don't remember. He might have just done mock drafts. I'll tell you this much. We can't properly predict what the hell's going to happen in the draft. You think the AI is any better at it? We're all terrible at it. They're
Brett Veach was firing up the PFF mock draft simulators is what he was doing.
It's an algorithm based on the way people think, and we're terrible at predicting which order the draft will go in.
Correct.
I don't think it's going to do better or worse. I'm just saying that's not going to solve your problem of who's going to be available at 28.
But like,
yeah,
again, I don't use AI on a regular basis, but I feel like again we're acting as if it's people don't realize the base, people are acting like it's the most complex thing ever. My team doing simulations is not a bad thing. I don't know why we're like, but instead of saying simulation, I say they're doing AI for the draft, and oh my gosh,
it depends on if it makes
it's a terrible
lazy
thing.
in
But
the
if I
normal
tell
part of
you,
the process.
if I tell you that they're using computer programs and algorithms, you're like, oh okay. But if I tell you, they're using AI, everybody freaks out.
It depends on if this becomes the only thing they rely on.
But clearly it's not. You think Brett Veach has just automated his entire draft? Come on, that's what I'm saying. The common sense part of it, like you use it to help you. It is not your end all be all only way you're determining.
But for some people,
things.
It turns into that, and for you to say that for some people they don't just rely on it and cheat the rest of the system to go. I'm not saying every
what NFL team is using that to make every decision?
You know that I can't make that answer. You're giving me an impossible answer to give. What
because
I'm saying
it doesn't exist.
You're pretending like aren't people in this world who have turned over.
Well, now you're taking it
this.
Outside of sports. Okay.
But I'm just saying like this is a first step into that. I'm not saying this is becoming every team. The Jets are using it than anybody else. But if one employee turns this into, I don't feel like doing the job today, this thing does it for me all the time, and I turn this over as original thought.
Yeah, but we're also acting like
crazy.
We're also acting
to
like
think that somebody would do that. And so I think it's a bad thing to become too reliant. That's all I'm saying. And in which case, I think the Jets have now been like, we're just telling them, think that first before your own thoughts. They said, think AI first.
They're not.
Don't think your own thoughts.
You're just making that up.
He said, think AI first. That's what their front office GM said.
But you're acting.
How's that crazy?
But you're acting as if like every employee, the Chat GPT versus football AI is not the same thing. Cody, you using AI to correct your grammar in an email you send to your boss or whatever is not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
No, but I don't know what level of, and look, we don't know the processes and the systems of things they're using based on this, but they mentioned specifically one brand of it, which is one that's accessible to me just the same.
And I get it. Some people are very anti-AI, and it's turned into like a political thing for some people as well. And I don't know, that's where some people's stance is on it for whatever reason. It's that also is, I think, why some people just don't like, they hear AI and they freak out.
No, it's not that for me. It's just the reliance of, look, people use it for parenting advice or a bunch of other things that I would be leery of.
Well, yeah, that's
but it's just like,
using AI to raise your kid is not the same thing as saying, a team's using it for their draft board.
But I don't think it's crazy to think that there's employees inside these systems that if you tell them to think this way first, to use this system first, that they will become more reliant on it than they should. That's what I'm saying is the scary stepping stone.
Especially if it works. If it works one time, then I think
if it works for a pro team, what's the problem?
I mean, they're bad with their own thoughts, too, in fairness.
It's not if it works for a pro team, what's the issue?
He's saying if it works once, they'll be like, it'll work every time.
Correct. And then you get into, we got to rely on this because it was right the last time. And then you fall into that little trap.
I mean, that's kept GMs employed forever. I mean, the GM hits a quarterback once, and all of a sudden everybody thinks he's a genius, and he's the GM for 20 years. What's the difference?
Because if it works once, then you get fed into, why would I go? Why would I go to a pro game when I just pop the numbers in?
My point is, a human that's correct once, someone keeps their job for 15 years because they were correct once as well.
There's something more, I think, to relying on just plugging numbers in than actually watching. Hence the reason why the Cavaliers had the best analytical numbers, better than the Knicks, and they got swept in the series. But they had better analytical numbers according to AI. They should have won the series, but they got swept instead. There's
that's a different argument. I'm not out here preaching that.
No, Alex
I'm not out here.
that.
I'm not preaching that AI guarantees championships.
I'm just telling you that there's a level
and AI
of...
and analytics was a crossover, but they're not the same thing. There's a crossover, but they're not the same thing.
They have they have a foot in the same world, but they are definitely not the same.
All right, up next, let's get to a proposal that's out there for Major League Baseball and a doctor that has Chiefs fans upset.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Cole Reagans, and you're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
FanDuel can make watching the NBA playoffs more exciting because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right, turn $5 into $150 in bonus bets just for getting started. FanDuel, well, they make it easy to get closer to all the action, from player props on your favorite stars to stats and trends. FanDuel has all the tools you need to back them up. It's everything you need, all in one app, so don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. Bet on the players you love the way you want. Visit FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel is an official partner of the NBA. Play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Call Hamilton today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 5-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299.
Hey, it's Rob Britton from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And Rob, I'm Scott Parks from Dan & Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC will feature the biggest names who made the World Cup in Kansas City possible, plus the biggest storylines heading into this summer's tournament. This is not a podcast about soccer. Don't get us wrong. This is a podcast about Kansas City. This is a podcast for Kansas City. And this is a podcast that'll tell the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes will be released every Wednesday starting on March 4th, as well as video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ's social channels.
Subscribe and download to Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series with myself and Rob Bretton on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You've put in the work to get that first job, moved up the ranks, or started a family. Now it's time to take your success to the next level. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we're here to help you keep that momentum going with educational programs built around real-world, in-demand career skills. We'll teach you how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science, plus timeless skills like leadership, communication, critical thinking, and more. Affordable, accredited, and online. A UMGC education fits your life, so you can keep growing while you keep going. You've succeeded before. Now succeed again. At UMGC, we believe nothing should stand in the way of your next achievement. Not doubt, not your life stage, and especially not an application fee. Just apply by June 1st and we'll waive your application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea just got harder with Twisted Tea Extreme. Twisted Tea Extreme is made with real brewed tea, goes down smooth, and an 8% gig of alcohol. Dial up the fun with Twisted Tea Extreme. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
The U.S. Treasury just released its official financial report for 2025. Buried in it is a startling admission. By its own numbers, it appears the U.S. government is insolvent. When governments go this deep in debt, they print money, raise taxes, or cut benefits, none of which can help protect you. That's why people move part of their savings into physical gold and silver. Call Monetary Gold at 877-NOW-GOLD for their complimentary gold and silver guide. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. Do it before the next headline, not after. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Power your drive with Mobil 1 Motor Oil. Buy 5 quarts, get $15 back, and score a fast and furious prize after rebate at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The Cody and Gold Garage Sale benefiting the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum is on Wednesday, June 10th on your home for Kansas City Sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
11 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll get to the trash of the day in about 17 minutes or so. It has to do with somebody that didn't realize they had a piece of wood in their eye. Yeah.
Well, I think I'd notice that.
I don't know how you don't notice that.
But it's not great. Sometimes these people, it's like, go to the doctor. You're not feeling right. It's not that crazy.
We'll get the details. It happened overseas, so we'll get the details where a man was living with something for multiple years in his eye, it turns out. All right, I want to touch on Major League Baseball for a second, then we'll get to what a doctor suggested about Patrick Mahomes, and it has Chiefs fans upset on social media. It's the second time this has happened in the last 2 weeks. My guess is there will be another video a month from now, and another video during training camp, and another one right before.
There might be another video today. If he's on a football field, there'll be a video of him taking a drop back.
That is also true. But Major League Baseball today is expected to give their position, and it's not a surprise necessarily, on where things stand on the upcoming CBA negotiation. So the MLBPA made its first proposal yesterday, and these were the three top issues. And then today, the expectation is that Major League Baseball is going to suggest a salary cap, which we all know is going to be the most contentious part of this whole thing for months and months and months ahead. But the MLBPA, according to Jeff Passan, put out their top issues. One, they want to increase the minimum salary from $780,000 to $1.5 million. That's the player's side. Plus a, quote, competitive integrity tax for any team that does not spend $150 million.
That would include the Royals, by the way.
Yeah, they were just under that.
This is, by the way, this is a salary floor with a penalty.
They're calling it a competitive integrity tax.
But let's be clear, that's a salary floor. You're saying there's a penalty for not spending money.
And then they want to increase the base threshold from $244 million to $300 million for the collective bargaining tax, I believe that is. And so that's the player's side of it. And then again, today we're going to learn the owner's side of it, which is going to have the salary cap aspect. And you can see why this is expected to be very contentious and tough negotiations moving forward, because these are completely different ideas. And one, the ideal thing for fans, right, is could you not have both? Have a floor and a cap and we're good to go? But that's not.
But the owners don't want a floor.
Correct.
And the team doesn't want a cap. And by the way, the $150 million, there's a reason why they chose that number. There are about half of the teams below it. As of right now, 17 teams currently spend over $150 million. The Royals are damn close at 146. So I can promise you right now, if there really was this in place, then it just spent the extra $4 million and avoided it. But there are a lot of teams, 13 of which are below, including teams like the Marlins, who are at $78 million. The Guardians, who are winning and in first place in the division, at $80 million. The White Sox, who are currently in a playoff spot, at $90 million. The Rays at 103. They have the best record in baseball. So, the problem is that these owners, for these small market teams who are good at winning and don't want to do it, they're not going to like this $150 million. Look, the CBT threshold, 244 to 3, they just want that because they're like, well, we don't want to punish the teams who are spending. We want to punish the teams who aren't. And while I don't think this is crazy by the players to ask, I think what it speaks of is that they just have different priorities. The problem with this list Gold, is that it changes the revenue sharing system from the local television stuff and decreases the amount of in-stadium revenue so that teams that win and bring in bigger crowds make more money. And for the Royals, you should not like that. Just because in reality, the New York Yankees or the Boston Red Sox or these large market teams are going to benefit from that. And they'll have their cap and their revenue number pushed up. The only thing you'd like from the Royals, it would force them to spend more money. They're already kind of at that low end of the figure anyway, so they're not the problem here. They're not the team spending $40 million, $80 million. They are the team attempting to field a competitive team. I think the single biggest thing that's not been discussed in here is free agency for 5+ years of service if you are 30, which means if you get up to the big leagues late like Vinny Pasquantino, you're 25. You don't have to wait till you're 30. You don't have to be held hostage. If you're 30 and you've been here for 5 years, if I get up late, if I'm Whit Merrifield, you don't get me for 7 years. They didn't attempt to start it over from scratch. They just said, if we're an older player who gets up later, can you maybe not just keep us? It incentivizes getting guys to the majors faster because you're only going to get so many years with them. This wouldn't matter to a guy like Bobby or Juan Soto or some of these others. It would matter for guys like Whit Merrifield or Nick Lofton or I can't remember exactly the age Vinny got up, maybe 24, but he would get a full extra year back of his eligibility. How bad do you think this is going to be in comparison when we get to Major League? Later?
They're going to be worlds apart. They're going to be worlds apart when we see the two proposals. And look, this is the baseline. In fairness, right? With any negotiation, you're going to have everything you want possible if you're the MLBPA, everything you want possible if you're the owner. You start there, and the hope, if you're a fan, is that eventually we get much closer and there's some agreement. But the agreement doesn't even expire till December. So This is so preliminary right now. We know the season will start next March if it starts on time. Nothing's going to happen until at least like February or January.
No.
So before real progress gets made.
But these initial things show us just how far apart they might be.
Right.
And until we get the Major League one versus the MLBPA, it'll tell you. And look, I saw the cap figures just like everyone else. So these are the public figures. Players will tell you that these numbers make it seem like the owners are making less. Owners will make it seem like you're making it seem like we make it more. But just a simple breakdown of revenue you made, payroll, and taxes you had to pay in 2024, and the percentage of that you're spending. Because the idea is like, if you do $150 million cap floor, you'll be burned. So based on the 2024 revenue they made, and the payroll tax they paid, and payroll they have for this season, the Marlins only spent 27% of that amount. The Royals, by the way, 51.5, ninth most in Major League Baseball. That can get to another point of why we're more frustrated with this team. But if you think there aren't teams taking advantage of it, this to me is about, their proposal is about the bottom dwellers. It is about the Pirates, the Guardians, the Rays, the White Sox, the Marlins, the Reds, the teams who don't spend and never spend, and don't even make an attempt to spend. And I think frustratingly, probably for some of these teams, are good at winning in spite of it. And like what's crazy about that is, any business said, I can reduce cost while you still kick ass. We'd all sign up in a millisecond. The Marlins aren't good at winning, and the White Sox have had some historically bad seasons. But there's a few teams like the Guardians and the Rays are good at this.
The argument...
Why am I being punished because I'm good at this?
If you're the players' union, you're saying, well, the Rays have found out how to win, in despite the financial issues you claim that they've done that. And so it's going to be interesting. We're just so early in this process that some of these bullet points that are out there from the MLBPA and soon to be the owners, we're going to hear about this stuff for the next 8 months, probably. The hope, if you're a sports fan and a Royals fan, a baseball fan, is that they're not so far apart that they can't actually come to an agreement by the time we get to spring training and the start of the season. But right now, if you had to guess, I'm guessing you would also agree that the chances of spring training starting on time is very, very slim. It's going to be very slim.
I would be stunned, honestly, which is not great for a team that slow starts anyway in the Royals to not have, they didn't have a normal offseason this time. And I'm not saying the World Baseball Classic is the reason they've stunk. There's lots of reasons.
No, but it caused me to be pissed off more because to see how Vinny acted and performed there and Michael Garcia acted and performed and Cags and everybody. And then when the season started, they look like completely different people.
I think for guys like Garcia, it's even more frustrating because you're like, wait, like Vern or something. You're dogging it? I watched you play for your country and the effort and the MVP, how hard every single plate appearance you play and gave to it. You got to do it for 162 here, whether the team's playing good or not. That's something that we need out of it. It is interesting to see the proposal. The floor part is, this is what's so funny. Everyone keeps saying the owners want a cap, and the players are like, never want a cap. We want a floor, though.
Of course.
We'd like you to spend, and it's like, you guys are complaining about the same thing about each other. You realize that, right? You're saying, how dare you cap the earnings that we can get, and this is going to hold down salaries, while saying, hey, jump up those salaries, please. You're trying to limit each other in the same way, just in the opposite end of the spectrum. So the logical thing to you and I is, we'll do both, which would be the best thing for fans.
No, that's what fans, I think, would be fine with.
If there was a $350 million cap, and it could be a soft cap, it could be the way the Warriors do it. And we're not discouraging the teams. If the Dodgers want to spend $8 trillion in a luxury tax, let them. Let them. It is what it is. Sports are unfair. And everything but the NFL, essentially, is an unfair league. I don't care if it's European soccer, baseball, NBA, maybe the NHL. Is it a hard cap in the NHL? That's a pretty fair sport. Fine. But there aren't that many. Baseball's in the minority.
Reminder, OTA is going on right now for the Chiefs out at Arrowhead. We're expected to hear from Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and perhaps Trey Smith right around 1 o'clock today. So if that happens, will be carried right here during Cody and Gold on 96.5 The Fan. We'll carry that live here on your home for the Chiefs. Thinking of the Chiefs, we got the video, which obviously a great sign. Patrick Mahomes out there throwing the football. That went viral. A lot of discussion around that. There won't be the last video that we see of Patrick Mahomes. We'll see a bunch more probably later on today out at the Chiefs practice facility. And so anytime there's video of Mahomes, there's an update from Pro Football Doc, and that is Dr. David Chow, former NFL team doctor. And he has become like an enemy for Chiefs fans out of nowhere. And I'm trying to understand why he's irritating Chiefs fans so much. We played the audio a couple weeks ago. There's a new video that he put out yesterday giving his opinion on the video from OTA. Just listen to this.
Let's look at another Patrick Mahomes video. This is Dr. David Chow, Sports Injury Central. Good to see Patrick Mahomes at OTAs. He is shown dropping back to make a pass in a big left knee brace. He looks pretty good in the pocket here, non-contact, but he still favors that left knee as he drops back, doesn't step through. He's making great progress. But as we've said before, there is no way biologically that he will be 100% for week 1. Could he play from the pocket? Yes, you're seeing signs of it right now. Will he be himself and completely mobile? No. And the Chiefs have not even decided yet whether to run him out there week 1 or be cautious. Good progress here. Let's continue to see it and monitor the situation, but much to be determined yet before Patrick Mahomes plays in the season opener in 2026.
Okay, so that was Dr. David Chow. And I saw the timeline blew up. Chiefs fans were not happy with him. Drew thinks he's being unfair as well. Truly, someone explain to me, what did he say that is unfair or inaccurate right now?
If you just listen to how he sounds when he says it.
It's the way he says it. It's not the thing he says. Nobody has an issue with, I don't have an issue with the medical part of, I understand how science works, and even if he's 95% all the way recovered, it'll take time before, we might not notice it. And people will be like, see, he's fine. This is the problem, is that Chow digs himself a grave in the sense that if Patrick Mahomes runs for a first down, people are like, see?
Right.
He's fine. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's 100%. It just means he's cleared to play and can play. He just sounds arrogant. I'm the smartest guy, and you guys are dummies. That's the vibe, right, Drew? I assume the issue is that he comes off like he's talking down to you. People don't like that.
Yeah, for him to say, he's still favoring his left knee. Well, he's 5 months into his rehab.
That's his opinion. You guys don't want him to tell him his opinion?
That's a fact. He's only 4 months into
if it's a fact, then what's the problem with him saying it?
Because he doesn't need to say. He's evaluating his. Look at how he's bracing his knee. The throw looks pretty good though. He doesn't.
I will say, using that as evidence for why he won't be 100%. There's no need for it.
Thank you.
He
doesn't need to say it.
He's favoring his
He's doing a video evaluating Patrick Mahomes. What do you guys want him to say?
He doesn't need to be Captain Obvious because he's a doctor. We know that his...
So you don't want to do a video then?
No. In all honesty, no.
But that's his job. What he does now, he runs an injury site. I think people are being sensitive on this. I really do. I think people are being way too sensitive on Dr. David Chow's video or whatever. And I think they want him to go out there and say, Patrick Mahomes is having the greatest recovery of a quarterback ever from an ACL.
Nice, yeah.
He's the most amazing quarterback post-ACL. Nobody's ever done this before. I think that's what people want to hear.
No, I don't think he has to say that. I think he just has to say Patrick Mahomes is still halfway through his rehab. He looks okay. He's throwing in OTAs. We just still don't know yet whether he's going to be 100% ready to go. He's not likely to be as mobile as he normally is. Instead of the throw looks pretty good, and you see how he's wearing the knee brace. He mentions everything that's plain and obvious for you and I to see.
Here, let me put it in a way that I think
it doesn't make it different because he's a doctor.
I think would make sense to you for why Drew doesn't like the phrasing on a way I like the phrasing. To me, this video is the same thing that you dislike and we all dislike, which is, hey, I've heard there are rumors that someone could be interested in a wide receiver. Him saying he's favoring his knee 4 months after a surgery, I'm like, yeah, I could have said that. I don't need a doctor to tell me that.
Thank you. Your issue is that one. Yeah. So your issue is that a guy that now runs a website to give injury analysis is giving injury analysis, and it seems obvious to you, so you don't want to do it.
But why does it bother you when Ian Rappaport says rumblings say that Mike, like when they say the obvious thing that anybody could say, when they say the generic statement about anything in the NFL, and you're like, anybody could have said that. Anybody could say he's favoring his leg 5 weeks after surgery. I don't need a doctor to tell me that. That's all.
Because I know, shocking. I do actually have some respect for doctors that went through the training they have more knowledge on the recovery for ACLs than you and I.
But Ian Rappaport has more information on things that are happening in the NFL.
Sometimes the insiders will be like, I'm hearing there's a chance somebody could get traded. That's way different. That's an agent just filling them with information or an owner filling information. A doctor actually went through the training and like he is a professional at this. It's what he does for a living. He's trained for that for a living.
I'm not questioning any part of nothing he has said is inaccurate. It's not that. And I'm not even saying he can't try to be a content creator and drive content to his site. I would say that's the same thing Rapport's doing by saying rumblings say there's a trade. He's just trying to create content and get people to click on it. I'm saying there is no valuable information.
I value a doctor giving me his opinion.
Someone is favoring their leg after surgery. Not all of this is invaluable not valuable information inside of this. Him saying he's not 100%, he might not be 100% healthy. That to me is valuable information.
But Chiefs fans are triggered by that comment too, because we played that a couple weeks ago.
I'm not bothered by that.
And people were upset about that.
Yeah, I don't care.
I think Chiefs fans are being a little too sensitive. They want him to go out there and either don't put out a video, which I would just say, well, then you just don't want to do his job. So that's just, again, being sensitive. Or you're not happy that he's telling you that he's having the most amazing recovery ever.
It might be that. I mean,
because here's the thing. We all know Nick Wright, right? Nick Wright, of course, we used to host here, and he now is at FS1, does very good for himself. Yesterday, he was gloating about how amazing the recovery is. I bet you Chiefs fans love that clip.
Probably.
I bet they love that one.
I don't think this is like breaking information that people are more sensitive to their own fan base. Every time a single thing is sent out about Patrick Mahomes, Bills fans are in the mentions like locusts. It's not, I don't think it's uncommon, and you probably are right in the sense that the reason why they dislike the Dr. Chow part is because of that. But then it's also the disgraced part, and then because he's got some dodgy stuff in the past, so it makes him slightly less credible.
I played you a clip of another doctor saying the exact same thing, you guys would be good.
I'm saying, I don't know. And again, I don't have an issue with him saying he won't be 100% healthy. I made that very clear. I'm saying he's giving us information like anybody else gives us useless information that doesn't change any information.
If what he said about him bracing,
any person on the planet would be favoring their leg 5 months after surgery.
Thank you.
Fine, okay.
If it's August, if it's August, and he's like, you can see he's still bracing, then it's okay. But based on what you're telling me is worthwhile.
The same way won't be healthy.
Yes.
So we're just mad that he's stating the obvious. Okay.
Yeah, which I think you've been annoyed at that for the NFL Insiders. I already pointed it out. You're trying to tell me you're not mad at people stating the obvious.
But I also understand if a doctor giving his opinion, though. Maybe this is just how I view. I value a doctor's opinion more than random guy's eyesight that doesn't know a damn thing about athletics. When it comes to training, athletic training, I should say, and recovery. Yes. It's why they have. This is why when shows are talking about medical problems, they have experts on their show to talk about it, because most people don't know what the hell they're talking about when it comes to that. It's not the same as you and I giving an opinion about is this quarterback, we think he's going to be a good NFL player. It's just an opinion. A doctor's opinion is way more backed by science and fact.
Less when he's been guilty of medical malpractice, right? Can we take him down a couple of notches for the medical malpractice?
This conversation. That's part of it.
He's still a doctor, but all doctors aren't.
So he just got his memory wiped. Now he doesn't know anything about anything.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it makes someone less credible. It's also just every doctor is not a good doctor. I had a doctor tell me once that my bone was bent, and had another doctor say that's not what bones do. They break. So
it just seems personal. It seems personal with this guy. I feel like it sounds like it's more of a personal thing for you guys with this specific doctor.
I don't care. I don't even watch the videos. He just puts them out and I just live my life.
Someone from the 620 says he just comes across as smug. I think that's the best way to put it. He comes across as smug.
He does have
If you just hear the way that he said it, like, you see he's wearing a knee brace. Thank you for that, Dr. Chow. I can see it too.
Again, I just don't know why that
Yeah, he braced a little bit. He's favoring his left leg because he's 5 months after an ACL tear that takes a year to recover from.
To me, it's the same as somebody being like, I see Alex is in a cream-colored shirt today with headphones. You'd be like, thanks. I also see that. He doesn't need to be
an expert. He's an expert in his field, his opinion.
He's not talking about expert things. He's just making any observation any person can make, I could say. The initial part, he won't be 100% healthy, no issue with that on my end at all. That is a medical, that is what you're saying. He went to medical school. He understands how the recovery went. Those things don't align. The other things to me are just, I have eyes. Like, okay, I also have eyes. I also see that he has a brace on and a jersey and a helmet and throws a football. It's like, he's not, none of that's medical. Like, that's just, I have eyes. He has a brace on his knee. Oh, go on. Please do tell. Like, that's all. Someone says, I'm not taking financial advice from somebody who went bankrupt. In fairness, Chow, I don't remember. It was medical malpractice with him, wasn't it? Isn't that what the issue was?
I think something along those lines.
He got fired for something, but I don't remember.
I thought it was something like that. I don't remember. He got in some kind of trouble. But you're right, Gold. But in fairness, I do think that if somebody... Genuinely, I do think if somebody like else was the messenger, it might help. Because people don't trust people who've gotten in trouble. It was medical malpractice. He lost a lawsuit based on that. Now, in fairness, I don't remember what it was. He was sued at least 5 times for tissue and nerve-related injuries. Seems somewhat relevant.
I would also say doctors get sued all the time. I mean, that's why they have doctors get sued all the time.
This man lost.
Doctors get sued all the time.
Yeah,
all the time.
Was one of the funniest thing is this. It says, I don't know. I think this is it. But Dr. Chow, and one of his most troubling cases involved Tom Fagan, who required an issue after a knee replacement. Like, he's talking about Patrick Mahomes' knee. Are we sure that we need to trust his opinion about knees at this rate? Are we sure?
I think Gold's saying that even if he's a disgraced doctor, he knows more about knees than we do.
Well, yeah, no kidding.
In the sense that he had to study.
Correct. I would agree with that.
But he doesn't know more about knees than some other doctors, I guess is what I'm saying. Is that he's like, he's on the lower tier of experts I trust on the matter. I trust him more than I trust you, but not more than I trust a number of other doctors.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the afternoon show has had Dr. David Chow on the show multiple times. Why do you think they have him on? Because he's got expertise and they clearly value him as a guest. The same reason why you would have. So, like, that's the exact reason why you would listen to him.
That's fine.
Like, why do you think the afternoon show has him on the show? Because
it sounds like he's also more than willing to talk about these things because he's making these videos on a regular basis, too.
I don't think we want to look into the guest booking and that being like an end-all, be-all. They're probably entertaining. Has an opinion and gives it.
Well, I don't think he's entertaining. His voice is the most monotone, boring analysis ever. That part, I'll agree with you. All right, we ran out of time for Trash of the Day. We'll work in the Trash of the Day at the end. Up next, let's get to OTAs. Started this week, as we said. And is there really a competition at one position? You and I don't actually think that's the case, but it feels like people are trying to create competition. We'll see if that's the case next.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Baseball season is in full swing, and that means the summer heat is on its way. And the guys over at Climate Control have been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years. And they know how to get your cooling system ready to handle our scorching hot summer weather. You can stay cool and comfortable this summer. Call Climate Control today, 816-265-2830. 816-265-2830 for all your cooling, heating, and plumbing needs. Don't wait. Visit climatecontrolkc.com today. Climate Control, heating, cooling, and plumbing.
I'm worried. Since your accident, we've got medical bills and you're missing work.
I know. I just don't know where to start.
We call SWL Injury Law the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do.
If they can help us get through this.
We've helped people just like you recover what they deserve. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here with Rob Side at Rob Side Ford. Rob, I smell a grill. What's cooking?
Kevin, the grills are fired up. And so are the deals. Right now at Rob Site Ford, it's the Ford Employee Pricing Sales Event with the best deals we've had in the past 12 months.
Now that's saying something. What are we talking?
Employee pricing on virtually every new Ford on our lot, plus even more dealer discounts on top.
So how hot do these deals get?
Up to $17,500 off brand new F-150s at Rob Site Ford, plus huge savings on Expedition, Explorer, Bronco Sport, Bronco, and more.
Wow, that's 5 alarm hot.
Exactly. And unlike Kevin's Burgers, these deals are coming out juicy.
All right. I walked into that one.
Shop Rob Site Ford, Kansas City's top-rated Ford store on Google. 4.8 stars and nearly 3,500 reviews.
Rob Site Ford, 135th and State Line, or robsite.com.
Buy right, Rob Site.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter.
J. Rieger & Co. Oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City. J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Winner of Best Craft Bourbon at the 2025 Ascot Awards. At 90 proof, it's rich, well-balanced, and oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, it is the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Coming up at the end of that Red Half Hour, we're working a little trash of the day. We ran out of time there, obviously, as we were discussing the David Chow, Patrick Mahomes injury video. You guys can interact with us. Jay Southland, Tow Servers text line, 913-586-7965. I always laugh on the text line. Someone will be like, why are you guys disagreeing or arguing? I'm like, look, we all the show's about opinions. This is what we do. We all have opinions on stuff.
They don't like
That's
it
what we
because
do.
sometimes it feels like parents fighting. They don't, see your parents fighting in the kitchen over something. They don't like it. Makes them uncomfortable.
I mean, like the people back to Kurt, like Drew knew he put the audio in this morning. He's like, oh, this is going to be fun when we talk about it later. It's like, we knew we were going to disagree on it.
I already knew where it was going.
We knew we were going to disagree on it. That's kind of the fun.
A little easy to dismiss the fact that he's a disgraced doctor.
Yeah, not to get back into it. I will say, like, but doctors do get sued all the time. Like, people sue doctors all the time.
Yeah, they don't lose their job and lose cases all the time, I would say. But yeah, that's fair. I wouldn't count up the number of times he's been sued as a reason to discredit.
Look, his opinion is different than saying, hey, Cody, do you want him operating on you? Or something like that. There's a difference between
Cody,
the
the only person who can fix the super bone is Dr. Chow. Yes or no?
No thanks. I'll go to a different doctor.
But his opinion is different than you actually thinking you want him to operate on you. There's a difference.
I don't want him to give me my opinion either.
Anyway, all right.
I just want to, and I've had some bad doctors. I'm not saying like all, but there's been a couple.
Well, we don't need to get back into it, but yes. Anyway, all right. So OTA started this week. We're going to hear from Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes coming up in the 1 o'clock hour today. But there seems to be, at least, I'll say this is probably more of an online conversation. So I don't know if this is among
this is like a blogger
casual.
site,
this is more of
deep
some
in the weeds.
Some Chiefs blogs and certainly among Chiefs Twitter. So let's preface it with that. But there seems to be some thought there that there's an actual competition at right tackle with Pule and Jalen Moore, and I don't actually think there's any competition at right tackle. I think Jalen Moore, while we can all agree he needs to be better and there was flaws in his game, given the money he's making, he already sat out a lot of last year, but now that there's no Juwan Taylor, the money he is making and the thought process they had before they even drafted Josh Simmons going backward. Remember, at one point he was going to be their left tackle if they couldn't have got Josh Simmons in the draft. I think he's starting. Pole, he was impressive considering the story. He came out of nowhere. Didn't make the team out of camp. They had to get him back from the Jets or whatever. Like, it's a great story and a testament to him to be ready to play at the level he played last year. But now we just think he's even at Jalen Moore's level and he's ready to compete and win the job. I don't buy that.
We mostly saw him at left tackle. So is there he was a passable left tackle, he'd be an even better right tackle argument? Probably. But I think that this is the way, I think the Chiefs want you to think that this is a competition the way the Vikings say J.J. McCarthy and Kyler Murray in competition. And let's be honest, are they, Gold? Are they really? Are J.J. McCarthy and Kyler Murray actually in competition for the job?
Absolutely not.
No, they aren't. And so I feel like that's probably what's going on here. They want to create competition because they want Jalen Moore to be hungry for it. They want him to earn that job. He's never been a day one starter in his entire NFL career. He's always been the swing tackle who comes in and fills the gap. He's being paid, in fairness, like a swing tackle. Starting tackles make more than Jalen Moore makes. You might think $20 million over 2 years is a lot. It's not that much for a starting tackle. That's practically peanuts. And so he's not making starting tackle money, and people watched Esapole not do a bad job. The only way his job is at real risk is if they spend a third-round pick or higher. Do I think he could lose it at some point in the season if he struggled and Pole was on the roster? Sure. Do I still think that they could probably – I'm surprised they haven't entertained a swing tackle outside of Pole, a guy who, again, did not make the roster last year. They only brought him back after 14 guys got hurt. He wasn't on the active roster for the other team. That's why he was able to be plucked off of their practice squad. He at no point made a team's 53-man roster until the Chiefs were down to almost no one left at left and right tackle. So, I would feel far more uncomfortable pinning my hopes on Pole to be the right tackle than Jalen Moore. And that's why I don't think he's at risk of actually losing his job. I think they'll try to develop Pole into a very, very cheap swing tackle. Hey, you know what? He played some left for us last year. If we needed him at right, I bet he could play that. And let's hope to never see his face.
Yeah, but you need him for
depth.
depth.
Hope he doesn't play, yeah.
No, it's a nice find, even though, as you said, they initially let him walk. It's a nice find to have him back, and it's a great story. But Jalen Moore, to me, should be and will be the starting right tackle if he's healthy week one of the season. And my guess is even by training camp, that's not even a question. It's just a known thing. It seems like it's more of a frankly, I think here's what happened, Cody. Last year, when we left training camp, there was the same sites, right? Whatever it's Arrowhead Pride or Arrowhead Addict, and they do great work there. We certainly use some of their content to help come up with conversations as well. It's not a knock on them, but they were all big fans of Pole. Like, I can't believe the Chiefs didn't keep this guy.
So it's easy to
now,
say,
in fairness, they brought him back, and in hindsight, it's like, hey, I'm surprised he didn't make the team. But that was their guy, okay?
It was.
And so now that he's back, I think it's the same thing. The same thing that happens with the Cam Darling stuff is happening again.
I think, yeah, and look, A to Z Sports, I like Charles a lot. He writes over there for the Chiefs site. He posted today, 5 undrafted free agents who are moving heads. I'm not trying to hype train undrafted free agents. Can some of them make the roster? Maybe, sure. But it's also just not
Legitimately, when's the last time the Chiefs had a true diamond in the rough finding? Like, I'm not talking about drafting somebody in the seventh round. I'm talking.
They got plenty of those.
I'm talking about an undrafted. No, because you mentioned undrafted. I'm talking about an undrafted guy that truly ended up having a huge impact for the team. There's got to be somebody I'm missing. But when's the legitimate question? I don't know the answer.
Did it have a real impact? Because I got plenty of 6th and 7th round guys,
I'm
which
talking
I would call
what we're discussing, which is undrafted players. Because Pole was undrafted as well. So I'm talking undrafted guys, and they're hard to find. They're diamonds in the rough for a reason, but. To your point about, hey, let's pump the brakes on any of the undrafted guys even going into this offseason. When's the last time somebody was a true, wow, what an unbelievable find?
I'm hoping somebody gives me a name because for somebody who does sports rating this time, I can't think of one. I mean, I'm racking my brain, Gold, and I can't think of one where I'm like, wow, look at that undrafted free agent go, and he was a big contributor because 6th or 7th round, I Trey Smith and
Pacheco. I know people at the end wasn't good, but he was
Jalen Watson and
Sure.
I got no shortage of names that work inside of that range, but then try to decide an actual undrafted free agent that mattered.
Someone said, what about Turk Warden?
He was that was
That's a good answer. That's a good answer, actually. That's a good answer.
He was a contributor, and he made the team. Okay, so
and he was undrafted. That's actually a really good answer. That's probably is that the last name? So it happens.
That's definitely the last one.
Someone say Carson Steele. That's Carson Steele. No, he's not a diamond in the rough.
Played for 2 games.
That's not an answer.
Playing in the NFL right now. Turk Warden's a good answer. He got $50 million.
Also, someone said Mike Pinell. The Chiefs didn't discover Mike Pinell. He was already on another team and stuff in the league.
Yeah, he was somebody else's undrafted.
Priest Holmes was already on their team. I'm talking about a guy that they signed as an undrafted guy, not somebody who was an undrafted guy that signed with him 5 years later. Priest Holmes was on the Ravens, then came over to the Chiefs.
Yes.
We're talking about
Turk Warden is the only one I can remember in the last 5 years where whoever, Chiefs blog site, Mitch Holtis really falls in love with undrafted free agents because he's around the team and you see these guys in practice. But Turk Warden played all 16 games his rookie year as an undrafted free agent and then eventually got himself $50 million.
Yeah.
So that's probably the answer. Butker on somebody else's roster. Yes. People are listing a lot of guys.
Yeah. Jared Allen was drafted, guys.
Daniel Sorensen might have been undrafted. A lot of
you texted Jared Allen. He was drafted.
Daniel Sorensen might have been undrafted. So it's not 0, but he was undrafted in 14. So there's another answer. He was on a Super Bowl winning team.
Someone says use AI to look it up. Thank you for the call back from our earlier segment. I appreciate you hanging with us since the 10 o'clock hour. Thank you.
Do you think it'll even do a good job, or just list a bunch of people who've been drafted?
It may not even succeed
Patrick
at that
Mahomes?
because that ChatGPT may not help us. May not help us with that. Anyway. So I just keep that in perspective when we talk about some of the undrafted guys. They're outliers, but it is a once every 6-year type of thing, 5-year type of thing.
Sorensen and Turk Warden were the two that we could come up with. Was Charvarius Ward drafted? He might have been a UDFA. So I'm not saying there's not.
Charvarius Ward was undrafted, so 2018 he'd be an answer,
okay.
Absolutely.
So there are a few
every 3 to 4 years it feels like then.
But very rarely. But in those cases, right, the guys we're talking about. Because somebody else would point out Sherkandrick West or Ben Neiman or some of the guys who have contributed but weren't stars for the team.
That was one of the names ChatGPT put out was Sherkandrick West, by the way.
Okay. Well, there you go. So whoever the names are, okay, fine. But it's still rare, Gold. And I would say in all of the cases that we're talking about, Ward, Sorensen, Wharton, those guys were on the team immediately. They knew immediately that they were contributors. They didn't let them get poached off of practice squads, leave the team, come back. And they have a paid, qualified right tackle. We were just surprised they didn't maybe shore it up or give them actual competition. I think we're trying to create competition because we want it, but I don't think it exists yet. So we'll see where it is. We can get to the trash of the day coming up, like you said, in 10 minutes. We were talking about Rashee Rice, though, and what Ian Rappaport and other NFL insiders have been saying about the Chiefs playing with him, saying that they're in a tricky spot, which we know. But what's funny is we talk about that sometimes. What's tricky about it? Let him play this year and then let him leave. To me, I don't think they're in a complicated spot about Rashee Rice at all.
That should be the plan.
He'd have 2,000 yards this year, and I can promise you, if he has 2,000 yards, I will still not advocate for them to sign him. I might advocate in that case to franchise tag him and trade him. But I'm not going to advocate for a long-term extension for a guy who either hasn't been able to stay on the field for health, or more importantly, he had a loyalty test of just don't get in trouble, and like an intelligence test, and failed it miserably by getting himself put in jail for the next, I don't know how many days are left, 22. Remember I said I was going to do a counter, I forgot.
I told you yesterday.
Trip McDuffie days away until he's free, man.
If it feels like it's been 3 weeks to us, imagine how long it feels for him.
I know.
So,
And it's probably only been like 6 days.
Yeah.
And so that part of it and everything inside of it kind of creates this different issue. Look, he said they should franchise tag him and essentially just keep him for 2 years. Then make a decision. Excuse me? There is no plan. Gold. I don't know. I might like that plan less than if they offered him 3 for $60 today. And I don't want him to get a long-term extension. But if they said, hey, 3 for $60 today, we have you for 4 years, I might like that plan better than pay him $28 million hard against the cap next season. And then what? Hope that you talk yourself into giving him an even bigger extension after that? That's my nightmare.
No,
that's like the worst plan, in my opinion.
1 year, and that's it. And he can go out and have a massive season. I think there's a chance he does as well anyway. But, you tag and you're going to have a $28 million cap hit. It's probably more than that because the cap will go up. So it's going to, let's call it $29 million cap hit for a wide receiver.
Number.
You're going to carry that for 1 year. That would make him the third highest cap hit, I think, next season, as in 2027. No, absolutely not. And if you're saying, well, tag and trade. Well, what team is you're going to tag him at 29? Another team is, if they're going to trade,
they're going to take the risk to pay him.
I don't buy that. If they did, it's going to get you a draft pick that you're going to be shocked at how low it is in a bad way. So no, I think this is it. I don't get the idea of tagging him at all.
And someone pointed out Traverse Ward was undrafted, but that's right. He came over
He
to
started
trade.
Dallas, so
he came over in the Parker Anger trade.
So that's not the example we're looking for either.
He doesn't even come.
We're
up
talking
on
about the
list.
Chiefs signed the guy as an undrafted.
They found good trade.
Yeah,
because Parker Anger did nothing for this team, so it didn't really matter,
very good
or for
trade.
the other team.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, yeah, you're right. Like even the list we have to whittle down is like they found a player later, not necessarily was their undrafted free agent. Anyway, but so like the Rashee Rice stuff, it is interesting because that legitimately it would probably be my last plan. Gold, if I told you right now, Rashee Rice got a 3-year deal for $60 million, the last year of this deal, and he's going to get paid $20 million, which is far below normal market value for a good wide receiver. Or they're going to keep him under contract this year, franchise tag him at 28 and had to play him. And you had to risk them liking what he did over 2 years and giving him his attention anyway. Which would you choose? Would you just give him the $60 million and hope he stayed out of trouble? Because I probably would. I don't want to do either of these deals.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But the Ian Rappaport one is worse, I guess.
Well, the only reason why I would choose, I guess, the $60 million path is that I can have the cap hit lower in year one.
And it's tradable.
And if I'm negotiating a contract, I can have some language in there that, if the guy gets a, jaywalking ticket, I can cut him and not owe him a penny or something. I would have language like I would have. Whereas a franchise tag, I don't have that language in there. I don't think so.
Yeah.
That would be. I guess that's my answer then.
Firm language.
Yeah.
If you so much as sneeze near a police horse, you are straight off of the team. Sorry.
What an example.
Bad news. That's a very.
What an example. That's what you came up with.
I'm trying to set the standard high.
Uh-huh.
I can't have anybody
by a police horse.
I don't want to be confused with assault of anything.
Wow.
That represents law enforcement. I don't need. I don't
sneeze near a police horse.
I don't need him getting in any kind of trouble.
Okay.
I guess to me, this is not a complicated system. This is the last year for him. This is what it should be. This is the last year for him as a Chief.
Yeah. Someone says
and
if
then
he
plays for another team. The end.
I feel like we've had this conversation plenty that I can confidently say. Someone says, hey, if he has 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns, we'll resign him and you guys will be wanting it. No, I won't.
No, I won't.
No, I won't.
They might, but I won't.
I have said consistently. I actually think he is capable, and I would be fairly confident saying I think he's going to have a career year. I really do. So I think ability-wise, he's about to have a massive season, which is why he was such an idiot for making the mistake that he just made. But no,
he had a big paycheck coming.
You can save the audio. Drew can make a drop of this, whatever. He could have 1,300 yards and 9 touchdowns, and the Chiefs can win the Super Bowl. I do not want him in a Chiefs uniform after this season. I don't trust him. Plain and simple. I've said this for months, long before the latest incident. So, yeah, I know. You're right. I think there will be, to the texter's point, there will be some people that will look to see him have a great year and then all of a sudden talk themselves into it. Absolutely, there will be people out there. I'm not going to be one of them. The Chiefs might be one of them.
Yeah,
that's ultimately all that matters. And that's
be.
all that matters if the Chiefs suddenly get that thought process. But no. Not going to be advocating. I don't care what kind of season he has.
He just seems like a kind of player that would be. I don't like maybe one of the 5 highest risk players in the NFL to give a big pile of money to and say, Don't do anything stupid. Like, I mean, genuinely, one of the 5 riskiest players to do that with. There's a couple of others. Stephon Diggs might be one of them, funny enough. But it's like he's had money and stayed on a football field.
Yeah, but now 913-586-7965. Now people are texting in unrealistic stuff. Like, we can all come up with a number that is unreal. Like, someone said, what if you'd sign for 1 year for $4 million? Why wouldn't you do that? He's not signed. If he has the year that you think he's going to have that you would want him back, he's not going to.
You think he's going to take Justin Watson money?
Why would he take 1 year for 4? Like, we got to be realistic with the numbers a little bit. Come on now.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I'd sign him for that. If he'll agree to a lifetime contract in which he only makes $4 million the rest of his career, fine. But he's also just not taking that contract. No part of his season can go bad enough that he's making $4 million. I'll remind you that Hollywood Brown's career wasn't even all that good by the time he got around to Kansas City. He was still making 10. Juju Smith-Schuster was on a knee that they said was going to explode, and he made 8. Like, you're not getting a guy for $4 million. Rice's season would have to go really south.
He'd have to get hurt week 1. Hurt week 1. And, he'll
make 2 for 40 in free agency. Even if he stays, even if he has 900 yards this season, he'll make 2 for 40 in free agency.
Yeah. Below market value is one thing. That text is not just below market value. That's just an unrealistic number. If you wanted to say he's going to sign below market value, that's a conversation some people can have. But 1 year for $4 million, come on now. That's just a made up number.
Yeah, it's not realistic. I still keep waiting every day to see if they try to
Someone says, who else is offering him if he's so horrible? No, I'm telling you, somebody. If he has 12,
somebody else's problem.
We see this play. This is the same reason why the Browns signed Kareem Hunt after the video came out. It was not their problem. Wasn't their problem. The incident didn't occur when he was on their team. It's to say this happens in sports all the time.
Frank Clark got here. They paid him, and he had a domestic violence claim against him. Like, teams will take on troubled players. Let's not pretend like that's the case. But normally when it's your trouble, you move on. And Alex and I are saying, if we were the Chiefs, that's not the kind of trouble we'd invite. We would just not take the chance that he can stay out of it when it was so easy. I looked up, there was an article on it, I think from Pete Gradoff at the Star. Do you realize how few terms and conditions there were for his probation? It was just, don't go out of the country unless you tell us, and don't do this thing unless you tell us, and don't smoke weed. That was it. It was like 3 very basic, anybody can handle it stipulations, and he couldn't handle those. And so, I don't know, I'm just not, it's not a realistic number is the problem.
Yeah, so people just keep throwing out unrealistic scenarios. What if he has 1,800 yards and 18 touchdowns? You still wouldn't sign him? Okay, what are we doing?
Let me be honest. Okay, those are unrealistic numbers, but if you did,
what are we doing?
I'll just be on record now so it's easy. Even in the hypothetical dream world in which Rashee Rice has 1,800 yards and 8 touchdowns, pass. I will tag him then and trade him because then I do actually think he has a market. But I'm not interested in signing him here long term.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
What that person just texted in is what Jamar Chase did when he won the Triple Crown. He had 1,717 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's not happening.
You don't think so? You don't think Rashee Rice can put up a season like Jamar Chase?
No. Come on. We can all come up with unrealistic scenarios. Like,
what if he had 3,000 yards? What's the number of yards, Gold, before you give Rashee Rice a long-term?
What if Joe Burrow is so unhappy in Cincinnati that he wants to be traded to Kansas City and he can just back up Patrick Mahomes? Like, this is the dumb stuff that we can all come up with.
I think he'd be too expensive as a backup.
No, but he loves Kansas City actually deep down, so he's gonna sign for $4 million as well. So the Chiefs will have the best quarterback room in NFL history.
Yes. Well, I don't know. Steve Young and Joe Montana was pretty good, but
no, this will be better.
So good, he might even start for the Chiefs. Actually, as a matter of fact,
and Patrick Mahomes is going to tell the Chiefs, "I don't need any more money," and he's going to redo his deal and only sign for $10 million a year the rest of his career, so the Chiefs can have a super roster the final 10 years of his career and chase rings. That's also going to happen.
Sounds great. I would be happy for Joe Burrow to finally get a ring, though. You know,
as the starting quarterback for the Chiefs, why not?
We said he'd be the backup in this case.
Yep.
Are you sure about that?
They're going to actually be the first team. They're going to run a 2 QB system. They're going to alternate or rotate through.
I tell you what, best quarterback rooms in history. Turns out that's not very common. Joe Montana and Steve Young have it by a mile. The next one on this list is like college, like Bob Greasy, and when Sonny Jurgensen and Joe Theismann were on a team.
Dylan Raiola might be able to do that this year if Oregon wins the whole thing with Dante Moore.
There you go. All right, let's get to the trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
All right, we didn't get to it earlier, so let's do it real quick. Trash of the day. This has to do with a man that did not realize he was living with a piece of wood in his eye socket. Yeah. It's a real...
It's one of those ones that just sends the shivers down your spine a little.
So a Russian man lived with nearly a 5-inch tree branch embedded in his skull for a year and a half before doctors finally figured out what was wrong with him. He was chopping maple branches in 2024 without protective goggles when he felt a sharp pain in his left eye. A CT scan confirmed it was a tree branch that had destroyed his sinuses and damaged the base of his skull, dangerously close to vital brain structures. But he didn't know. For a year, he had no idea. So he felt pain when it happened, but I guess he just didn't get it checked out or anything.
5 inches long? Like, are you serious? That guy had that stuck in his eye. He didn't know.
Is that good size to you?
It's probably perfectly average, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But not if that piece of stick or whatever it was. Did he say exactly what it was? Was it a piece of stick or what exactly was it?
It just says a wooden branch.
Oh,
and here's the photo of it. It's just
that was in his eye?
Socket, yeah.
Oh, that's horrifying, man. Genuinely.
They got all the way up into his, destroyed it, penetrated the eye socket, destroyed sinuses, damages the base of the skull.
How did he not? Was he just avoiding the doctor?
I don't know. This is similar to, there was a story we had a while back where the guy, remember, had the metal chopstick in his throat for 8 years? Remember that story?
Yeah.
There's a guy who had a chopstick. He didn't realize it down his throat. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't understand how that happens. I feel like I would know the second that an entire branch landed inside my eyeball. I feel like I'd know that I was uncomfortable and that this wasn't going to work. Honestly, genuinely horrifying. Genuinely horrifying to even think about being stuck in that situation. Like, I thought you were going to do it on this, like there's this big controversy out in Oregon where someone ripped off this guy's Lego set. Took him a whole thing online.
Ripped off his Lego set?
Well, he was consignment, $200,000 Lego set from his dad, and then they ran out the old franchise owner, and this guy's like, no, that's just my stuff. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just trying to rip this guy off. Instead, you should look it up. I don't want to name the company because I don't want to get any kind of trouble, I guess, from this, but I don't think they even exist in this anyway. But I'll just tell you, look up $200,000 Lego set. A bunch of like random YouTubers or Twitch streamers got involved because this guy's essentially just like, nope, we don't know what you're talking about. We can't even enter in consignment agreements, so probably just ours. It's probably like a week ago, but a lot of it's coming to a culmination over the last couple of days. The shop just closed. Like, we're closed for now.
No, I did not see any of this.
Yeah. Look it up. It's a serious
You've been locked into the Lego stories. I feel like you're
that one just
you
came
kind of.
I don't really build Lego, so you'd think I wouldn't be so
That's
locked
what I'm
in.
saying.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You know? It was 780 sets and 1,200 minifigures. Where does that even store that? How big of a storage
Gotta
unit
have
do
a
you
massive
need?
storage unit,
Or a
yeah.
huge basement. When's the last time you built a Lego? A kid?
Yeah.
You haven't done one like a nephew or something?
No, they never really got it. They're not that big into the
okay.
Legos. No, they never got big into the Legos. So it's been a very long time.
They do like a little Lego club at my kid's school, but
okay.
Neither of them has shown an interest.
Are they in it? No.
They call it like a Young Engineers Club or something, you know? I think my only disappointment is that, it costs money, which is fine. I don't care about that. But it's like you don't get to keep the Lego at the end of it. It's just you're just using them and then turning them back in. That seems kind of lame.
Oh. They're just practicing building stuff.
Yeah.
It is.
It's going to be nice if you got like a small set, but also maybe it costs a lot more.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Not cheap, man.
That is the trash
Price has gone up.
of the day. All right, up next, we'll get to what's trending back into the Royals and where the confidence is right now with the overall organization. We'll also get back into where Major League Baseball is at with their first proposal expected today for the new CBA.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Well, there's still a few days left in the month of May. That means a few days left to take advantage of employee pricing over at Shawnee Mission Ford. Right now, you can pay what they pay. So whether it's a 2026 Mustang Mach-E that I'm driving right now, thanks to Shawnee Mission Ford, or a Bronco or a Bronco Sport, a Maverick, F-150s, Expeditions, or maybe a 2026 Ford Escape, you name it, you could do that over at Shawnee Mission Ford and take advantage of employee pricing. You pay what they pay, and you still get all the rebates and the incentives offered from Ford, along with the top trade-in value from Shawnee Mission Ford. We're talking about American value for American values. At Shawnee Mission Ford, they're on a mission to do more in 26.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu. Well, now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Did your HVAC struggle through this rough winter? When it comes to your home comfort, trust the local experts at Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Right now, you can save up to $2,000 on a new HVAC system with our trade-in allowance program. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee, means you get safe, reliable service and peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
Hey guys, it's Rob Brennan from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the upcoming World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Dana and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC features the biggest names who helped make the World Cup in Kansas City possible. And there was a lot of work, plus the major storylines heading into this summer's tournament.
This is so much more. This isn't just a podcast about soccer.
No, you're right, Rob. It's a podcast about Kansas City, for Kansas City, telling the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, along with video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
So make sure you subscribe. Download Beyond the Pitch KC with Rob Brennan and myself, Scott Parks, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
In a world parched for excitement, Twisted Tea's your refreshing thrill ride of flavor. The hard iced tea that's smooth, made with real brewed tea and 5% alcohol. Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds. And you can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Range Bait with Dusty Likens is now up on the Fan's YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter channels. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti. Number one on what's trending, the Royals, of course, swept by the Yankees. That's now 14 straight losses to New York, going back to the postseason. The Royals were outscored this year by the Yankees 50-10. 50-10. They're
No more Yankees games, right, this year? That's it?
That's it. 12 games under...
Winning streak starts tonight. Or
12. They're off today, yeah. 12 games under 500 now in the season. 22-34. We're going to talk more about whether you expect anything to happen today or not and where we're at with the organization again coming up. But we said when they were 10 games under 500, would that be the low water point or whatever of the season? And nope, it was not.
I don't know. Yesterday 2 days ago felt worse than last night. I guess I just resigned myself to the fact. But yes, you're right. Technically, it has gotten worse. Next up on what's trending, NBA East or Western Conference Finals, Game 6 tonight, Spurs and Thunder. Obviously, the Thunder get a win tonight. They'll advance to take on the New York Knicks. In the final, the Spurs are actually favorites in the game tonight at minus 155. Thunder's plus 130. So we'll see whether or not
A lot of
that
people
game
are
goes
not
that
happy
way.
because James Williams, who looks like Gucci Mane, a lot of people call him Gucci Mane, is a self-proclaimed Thunder fan.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
One of the head officials.
I did see that
officiating
Wemby-
was a big problem in Game 5. It's been good, though, this postseason, but Game 5 was a problem.
I will say they've kept the kid gloves on for Wemby, who got a stern talking to for dodging the media, which he has to do contractually, by the way.
Yep.
I'm not just saying that because
He did not play
I'm
well.
a media member. He didn't play well, and then he didn't want to talk to anybody because he didn't play well.
Yeah.
And so they said, hey, you can't do that. He
Yeah.
got off easy both times. Then he kind of stepped outside the lines so far.
I'm not surprised with this one as much as I was the other one where he elbowed
I
Now's
still
Reed
got
and then
no fine.
Yeah, that
for
was
That's-
crazy.
He should have gotten suspended a game, but no fine is wild. Wild.
Elsewhere on what's trending, the Major League Baseball Players Association yesterday sent out their first proposal to Major League Baseball as labor talks officially opened up. The union proposing that the minimum salary increase nearly doubles from $780,000 to $1.5 million, lowering free agency from 6 years to 5 years for players 30 and older. They also proposed that each club would be guaranteed a minimum of $240 million in revenue sharing each season. There were other terms as well. Today, we're expected to hear and see the MLB owners' proposal, what they are hoping. Remember, this is very early on. The CBA doesn't expire until December. They're trying to get going now, but this is something I'm sure we'll be discussing all the way into December, January, February. Hopefully, it doesn't impact the 2027 season, but a lot of people are very skeptical whether or not they can come to terms because they are asking both for such drastic changes to the sport.
Exactly. Next up on What's Trending, massive, huge upset. Cannot overemphasize upset. In the French Open today, Yannick Sinner getting knocked out of the French Open, giving up the final 18 points. He got hurt in the middle of the match or started having cramping issues as a result
Dealing
of
with
that.
the heat.
He was up 2-0, ended up losing the next 3 sets in a row. He was minus, and I'm not kidding, minus 10,000 to win this match today.
Do you know if that,
So, like,
that was
that's a
before the
pretty-
match?
That's a pretty big upset.
Was that before the match, or was
I think that was before.
Okay, so some of the upsets I want to credit Bleacher Report, I believe. BR Betting on Twitter had upsets less insane than Yannick Sinner. Both 16 seeds over the 1 seeds beat that by a mile. Actually, ironically enough, was more of an upset than any of the 16 seeds beating the 1s, and that was plus 4,200. Michigan losing to Appalachian State. The Jets beating the Colts in Super Bowl III. The Falcons and Pats was only plus 1,600 live, I believe. It says live, I would assume, when they were down 28-3. I would assume this one is it as well. Maybe the biggest upset in college football history. Stanford in 2007 beat number 2 USC. They were 41-point underdogs, and Stanford won. I don't know what the odds would have been, but Yannick Sinner losing was
He had a
one of the biggest
30-match
upsets
winning streak
in sports history, especially with Carlos Alcaraz being out. It was his tournament to kind of lose other than Novak Djokovic, and now this tournament is wide open on the men's side. Maybe the Americans' best chance to win since I believe Andre Agassi last won is the last time the U.S. won a slam title.
I mean, you're talking
on
about
the men's side.
some
on
of
the
the
men's side.
longest, like some of the longest odds of all time. Yeah.
It's one of the
It was
biggest upsets in
100 to 1
sports
at
history.
various, just to be clear, it was 100 to 1 at various sports books this morning.
Crazy.
So, like, you could have wagered anything. One guy posted a ticket, said, "Oh, if you saw $10,000 on the ground, you wouldn't pick it up," and wagered $50,000 on Sinner to win.
Ooh.
I think there was somebody that wagered $5,000 last night
Now, if you're,
on him to win.
I would like to think if you're betting $50,000, then you're not hurting for money.
I like to think so.
But
That
it's
one
also a
probably
reminder.
stung a
It's
little.
also a reminder that there's no such thing as a sure thing when it comes to betting on anything.
I mean,
you might feel very confident that a team is going to win, or in this case, a tennis player is going to win. But there is always a chance, and it backfired in a big way for a couple people. That's for sure.
It is really crazy. I mean, some of they're talking about like 85 to 1 when Stephen F. Austin beat Duke in Cameron. They were a 28.5 point underdog. That was better chance than this Yannick Sinner one. So huge upset in tennis.
Lastly, on what's trending, don't forget we're less than 2 weeks away from the Cody and Gold garage sale. All proceeds benefiting the Negro Leagues
right.
Baseball Museum. Wednesday, June the 10th. From 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., the auction site will be live here very, very soon, by the way. We will have a page up. You guys can start viewing the items. We added some more today. I think we're already up to over, including experiences, already 70 items/experiences on the website, which it's not available yet, so it's not on the site if you're trying to find it. We'll let you know when it's there. But we've got some awesome experiences we keep telling you about. Let's see, some new items we put up today. Jake Eisenberg's broadcast experience, a chance to go to the Royals Radio Network booth during a game and watch an inning there while he's in there, plus tickets to the game. We've got the tour with Bob Kendrick at the museum, a private tour, which is unbelievable. We've got some fun items in there, a bunch of new bobbleheads we put up in the auction site today.
Yeah, Jake Eisenberg donated a bunch, so those will be from his personal collection, which will indicate on the listing because I want to make sure that you buy him because Jake owned them once. You know, maybe that adds
Game worn.
He actually put
Stuff.
He has game worn, broadcast worn, Bally Sports and FanDuel Sports clothing. Can't even get it anymore.
That's true.
Defunct.
Yeah.
You know, they're Royals.tv now.
We have
those are collector's items, and they were put on by Jake. He said he cleaned them, so sorry if that's your thing. But that they're not cleaned. But they look nice. He said they were maybe worn once or twice. One's like a full, it looks like a really nice winter coat they got for like a cold weather game. He said he wore it like one time. It's like brand new, essentially. So
yeah,
we'll put together a nice little collection for you.
We got that. We've got a couple other, I think, Chiefs items that are kind of interesting. We got an Eric Hosmer All-Star Game jersey from 2016.
Autographed Adalberto Mondesi helmet. Somebody wants to know, Drew, can they get a Blue Chew signed by you over on Twitch? They're curious. Can they just get one pill autographed by Drew?
How is he going to sign the
maybe
pill?
The package. The box?
Sure, I'll sign it.
You got some lying around?
Can you order a box?
No.
So we have you sign one? Come on, man. That'd be a pretty sweet item.
I'm sure I could get. I'm sure.
You
I
getting a
could
convertible
find
this
way
summer
to
from
make
your
that
friends at
happen.
Shawnee Mission? Can you give someone a ride in a convertible?
I think there's a liability problem there.
Yeah,
but
for them and
but
for
sure,
you.
yeah. No, I love the Mach-E I'm driving right now, but I think the next vehicle that I'm driving is a convertible.
I don't think we're going to get back into this, by the way. But Matt Foster just put out a new video of Patrick Mahomes stretching and doing. He was running backwards a little bit. I can't wait for the Dr. Chow breakdown of this one.
What's coming?
Oh, I can't wait for Chiefs fans to be mad that people aren't saying it's the best, stretching exercise they've ever seen in NFL history.
He's not just stretching; he's jogging. He's running backwards. I can't wait to say that he looks a little stiff. I don't know, man. I'm ready for Dr. Chow to post out something by the end of the day.
Yeah, Mahomes is stretching, and my guess is there will be a video, and my guess is you will be triggered by David Chow not saying it's the best stretch he's ever seen post ACL recovery.
I don't know why he's afraid to admit it.
Yeah.
That Mahomes is the single greatest athlete to ever recover from an injury.
Once he does that, then people will be good with it.
If he comes back to win the MVP, can we agree to that? He's the single greatest athlete recovering from an ACL injury ever.
If he wins an MVP, if he wins, yes.
Adrian Peterson doing it at the running back position, nobody is beating that.
yards.
Nobody's beating what Adrian Peterson did. Even if Patrick Mahomes wins the MVP.
5,050. I'm just going to declare it.
Adrian Peterson doing it is.
Yeah. Anyway, back to what we were saying for a second. Someone said we should auction off a Cody Gold fan experience. Well, we already have that. We have the fan club. Yeah. You can come in studio for fan club.
And there'll be a Jay Rieger tour. There's stuff to hang out with us for this stuff. There's one at Firekeeper with Alex. Kelly's with me. There's lots of places to interact with the people around the station.
Yeah.
We'd like to make sure you get a chance to do cool stuff. Plus, I can't get you a seated dinner for 10 with George Brett. So you're just going to hang out with us while we use part of your tab. That's what we got for you.
We will, by the way, hear from Patrick Mahomes in the 1 o'clock hour and Andy Reid. That's expected to happen just after 1 o'clock today. So we'll hear how he is doing. But yes, there is video out there of Mahomes once again back out at practice. Obviously a great sign and timeline for Patrick Mahomes to be ready for the start of the season. Can't ask for anything more than what you've seen so far from Mahomes post-ACL injury. Back to the Royals for a little bit here. You asked me the question earlier, and I told you I don't expect it, even though I think it needs to happen. You said, is anything going to happen today? It's an off day. And you were alluding to, of course, anybody getting fired, basically. And
and pretty much what I was asking. Yes.
Yeah, and look, Matt Quatrero and JJ Piccolo, I don't, at this point, think either should lose their job. And I know a lot of you disagree with me on that, and that's fine. I think somebody should, though. When you are about to turn to June in a year where you have playoff expectations and you're 12 games under 500, and
you just got done losing a series 30-1.
You got embarrassed by the Yankees, awful homestand after an awful road trip, and your offense is 28th in baseball, and an offense last year that struggled again, and you chose to keep your hitting coach around and brought in 2 new hitting coaches on top of that after removing a few others. Yeah, to me, you have to show your fans that the status quo is not acceptable.
That we're in your position is not okay.
You can say it all you want, but people want action. And there's some realistic action and unrealistic action that can take place. Getting rid of your hitting coach or a third base coach or someone lower in the front office shows that you understand this is not acceptable. We see it happen in sports all the time. Sometimes it leads to a turnaround. A lot of times it doesn't lead to instant success, but fans that care want to see that you understand that it's not acceptable, other than just being like, look, we're disappointed and please be patient with us. That doesn't work after a while. And I would say it's been a while. It's about to be June 1.
Yeah, and I think that's initially the issue here. And where they're running into problems pretty consistently is, we were saying earlier, it's like you got to prove that you have a plan to fix this. For the same reasons. This is a team that was expected to win, should be expected to win, next year and every year Bobby Wood Jr. is on the roster, and that they have one of the better starting rotations, etc. Like, you should show me you have a plan. And honestly, just saying these coaches will coach better, these players will play better, will make better moves, doesn't exactly ring confidence in the you'll actually solve this problem department. And that, I guess, is inevitably the issue. Is that right now, it'd be hard to have faith right now if I said, hey, I believe that this team has a plan to fix this. Right? Like, how could I say that right now with any kind of like gusto? Now, here's the truth. I think they probably have a plan, but I would like them to start showing what that plan is and start showing some of the results of that plan. If some of your plan is Vinny and Salvi just play better, okay. If some of your plan is we're going to continue to boost up the minor league system via some trades, okay. But like, you got to figure out a way to show fans that you are the right people to solve a problem you created. And sometimes you can just run into a bad season. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. The last two seasons have been pretty good. Last year fell short of expectations, though. And this year's coming up even more short.
Yeah, you're trending in the wrong direction, right?
Yeah, that is the
scary thing.
Not quite a playoff team, and now you're 12 games under 500.
Yeah, you're trending in the wrong direction. And yeah, you mentioned the players. Of course, player after player have not performed at a high level. But in sports, you don't cut every player. So
that's not really how it works.
That's not how it works. Just not. Like,
you
of
might
course.
say is there a Hunter Dozier, Renfro, Omar, and Fonte? There's not even like a...
There's nobody like that on the team.
Not even like a good answer to that. He was so far down the depth chart.
No,
that you don't even have that. You don't even have like that. That's what's so weird about this team. You don't even have that guy. You know what one of the items we have that we're going to put up for the garage sale is? I found a full-length, gigantic, 10-foot long or 8-foot long stadium banner from Hunter Dozier, like hung at Kauffman Stadium. This idea that like you had a guy that at least you could pin it all on. But the two guys who are underperforming the most on offense are two guys you've counted on this entire time. Nothing needs to change there. But you're right, coaching and scouts or someone's like just a video guy. Like at this point, they don't even care who it is. I'm like, no, it's. And I don't root for people to lose their job. It's just like I'd be surprised if at some point somebody doesn't.
It's not rooting. It's not rooting for anybody to get fired, but it's results-based business. And specifically, I keep bringing them up, but last year there was a reason that you probably should have pivoted away from him as well. This is not like it's a one-off. Oh, it's been a bad 2 months of offense. This goes back all the way to last year, Cody. With this offense. And I told you, even the year they made the postseason, this is not like there's a track record where it's been a bad 2-year run for the it's not as if under Alex Zumwalt as a hitting coach that the offense was great for 3 years and now they just hit a rough patch. It's never been great. It was average at best at one point in time. So it's been well below average the last year and a half now, and it's about to be June. So I don't believe they're going to do anything anytime soon.
I don't get a sense that they're in a rush. I think partially because, and this might be not the fatal flaw, but sometimes when you look at, like, we've talked about this with the Chiefs, even winning organizations have their biggest issues. I've told you the ones that I think are the Chiefs' biggest issues, right? It's not quite the same as one of the bigger issues with Dayton Moore, which we talked about when he was the GM and got fired. But I would say one of the Royals' issues is patience. You should have been less patient with all of this.
Patience and loyalty, right?
And like those go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. You're loyal, but you're like, no, it will work with India this time. No, Estevez will be fine. Like the entirety of the season could probably be boiled down to that. No, these guys will hit better. No, Estevez will be fine. No, India will work. No, Zumwalt will get these guys hitting. Are you just counting on everybody to just be better at their job starting today? That's a tough spot to be in. And so like this loyalty and patience, it's been costing them the last 2 years where they've waited a little too long to do something. Like you said, you had been asking for Zumwalt troubles in the offseason. Like, you're waiting a little too long to make these moves. And look, if something like that happened, it probably would be okay, a little late in the game. But
yeah, and again, I don't think any of us, even listeners that are texting, nobody's suggesting that if someone were to be let go, that suddenly everything is fixed. That's not the point, like right this second. And I get it. You might say, well, why would you fire someone just to fire someone if it's not going to make it better? And again, optics do matter for fans. I'm sorry. They do. And
They do.
I'm not saying that you should operate as a GM based on what your fans want all the time. You can't operate that way. That's silly. But you have to show that what has happened this year, and frankly last year, is not up to the standard. And that results matter, and being the 28th best offense this year, and then last year was right around the same area, that's not good enough. Well, who's responsible for the offense? Yes, players, duh.
Players, but if it's not the players, who is it?
Then who is it?
Hitting coaches.
They got rid of two guys, and they brought in
stuff like Q.
They got rid of two guys in the offseason. They retained the main guy, and they brought in two new pieces, which nobody talks about them because of the newer guys, but what have they brought to the table so far?
Yeah. Someone point out, why not point out that this is always the issue with hey, restore the faith. Restore, make me believe again that you're an organization heading in the right direction. Why not point out this? It said the bad thing about baseball is when you're bad, it drives people crazy. It said football, you have a bad season, draft comes around. Problem solved. We fixed our roster. It always feels like you can solve your problems with 7 picks.
Well, that's the thing. You look at the Royals minor league system. I mean, you and I have talked about two of the young pitchers, but they're like 19 years old, and they're an A-ball right now. You and I are both very excited about David Shields and Churio. But
they're two top 100 or will be top 100 baseball prospects.
Absolutely. But that's
2
years out.
3 years away.
That's 2+ years out.
Yeah. They might be worthy another Cody and Gold road trip in 2 seasons. We can head to Omaha or to Arkansas. And look, I don't know which way it's going to inevitably go. Do I find myself checking to see what Kendry Churio most recently did? Yes. Do I think both Churio and Shields are getting ready to move up a level? Churio to the level that David Shields is at, and David Shields to AA? Yeah, probably. But Gold, I can only look at so many stats for Kendry Churio and be like, well, this will solve all the problems. Pitching is not their issue, at least not in the starting rotation. That hasn't been their issue the last 2 seasons. Their issues have been other places, not there. Are you a bigger Shields guy or Kendry Churio?
Well, I think Churio could end up being very, very good as well. I'm more invested in David Shields because of the.
By the way, it's enough.
Trading card stuff.
Move Kendry Churio up to high A. He's 18 years old, Gold. He now has pitched 8 starts in A-ball. He has thrown 31 innings, 32 strikeouts, and has a 1.71 ERA.
Yeah, we've seen enough. Let's go.
Yep. On up to A-ball, please.
Churio will end up being the higher rated prospect when it's all said and done.
He is already. He's a 79, I think.
To answer your question, if you're asking who
you're excited about, you're invested because of the card
Shields.
stuff.
But I think prospect-wise, Churio will end up being the better prospect.
Shields' issue is velocity. They think there's more velocity to unlock. Although, in fairness, his last start was 6 innings, no hits, 5 strikeouts. So it's like, but these guys, it's like, let's start moving some people through the system and maybe trying to work our way through. He's thrown 9 starts and has 39 innings and 40 strikeouts too. So
yeah, but that's so far out though at this point. Someone says you guys were too optimistic. Why did you think? Well, yeah, we were too optimistic, but that doesn't really matter now at this point, right? Yes, we were optimistic. I would say, it's very easy now for people to act like, of course I knew they were going to be 12. No, you didn't. You may not have thought they're going to win 88 games or whatever like we did, but to sit here and tell me you predicted this whole thing that they were going to be this bad.
There's probably 1 or 2, but they predicted to lose 100 every year.
There you go. Yeah, you're lying. I think you're lying to yourself. If you're telling me that you predicted they'd be in last place of the AL Central on May 28th.
I don't tend to get.
I'm not saying you had to also think they had a chance to win the division necessarily, but telling me that you thought they would be 22-34, I'll call BS on that.
Someone said they're wasting weight, like the Angels are wasted Mike Trout. They still are wasting. They still are wasting Mike Trout, and as a matter of
the Angels are horrendous as well.
Still wasting.
And the Royals
Mike Trout.
And the Royals won't have the opportunity probably to continue wasting him if they're. Because Bobby's likely not going to hang around like how Mike Trout has hung around with the Angels.
All right, fine. They can trade for Mike Trout. Fine. Okay, I'm in.
Send Bobby to the Angels for Mike
God,
Trout?
no, not that. I just meant both.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
No. Oh, I don't want to trade. This is like the only thing that I'm surprised that I have blowback on. Like I'll post a video on TikTok.
Trading for Mike Trout, though. Honestly, though, like
the contract.
Nobody's trading for that.
But it's not that. That I was just being sarcastic about. But the Bobby Witt thing, the thing I'm surprised by, like on social media when I post the videos from the show or talk about the show that I am stunned by is there are people who think tear it all down and trade Bobby Witt Jr. There is they could lose 130 games this year.
No.
And I am not pro trading Bobby Witt Jr.
No.
They can't lose enough games
for
me to think that not having Bobby Witt Jr. on the team is better than having Bobby Witt Jr.
No, I'm 100% with you. That is crazy.
It's insane to me. I would never, ever, ever even conceive of that possibility. There is not a trade offer a team could give me. Unless they're trading their own superstar, who's also 26.
Right.
Unless Shohei Ohtani for fine.
Okay.
Shohei for Bobby, straight up, I'm in. You see the way he's pitching? Sometimes players
Yeah,
do
yesterday?
stuff,
Yes, it
and we
was
don't
insane.
even talk about it. The underappreciation of what Shohei Ohtani's doing, it's unheard of.
You think it's underappreciated? I think he gets enough love. I don't know if it's underappreciated. He had 6 hitless innings and then hit a leadoff home run yesterday. I mean, the guy is absolutely ridiculous.
He's hitting .269 with a 400 on-base percentage and double-digit home runs, and is the NL Cy Young favorite, or second to Skeens or whatever.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. It's crazy.
Well, he's the best player in the world, and going to go
Might be the
down
best
as
player of all time.
Going to go down as if not the best, the second best player of all time, depending on who you want to talk to. It's crazy.
Well, I'm not talking to anybody who covered Babe Ruth
I'm just
or
I'm
Barry
just-
Bonds.
yeah.
Who's your answer for best player of all time? Is it Barry Bonds? The cheaters. That makes it difficult.
Just to piss you off, Derek Jeter probably, Cody. Actually,
It's
just
not
to
Derek
piss
Jeter.
you off.
It's not Derek Jeter. Babe Ruth is probably an argument for someone. I think modern day.
Of course, Babe Ruth's an argument. I
The
know there's
best
reasons to
yeah.
push back, but of course that's an argument.
I think the single best player I ever saw play was Barry Bonds. I also understand he was using steroids a bunch, so it's tough. Or at least at the end.
No, I think Ohtani is the best, considering where the sport is at now, and the frankly the information that everybody has that should make it, as much as it helps you, can also make it
105 miles an hour.
Ohtani, to me, when it's all said and done, will go down as the best player that I've ever seen.
I think you got to I got to give him time to just earn the career part of it, build the stats.
But he's going to if he stays healthy. I mean, and he had the one injury and he still was fine that year. He didn't pitch that year, but he still hit. Was an MVP that year. I mean,
oh no, I can't pitch this year. What can you still do for this team? Win the MVP? Is that fine? Or
For the 816, Bobby Witt isn't that good. He sure isn't on Judge's level. Not even close.
Disagree. All right. That's fine. I mean, people say stupid things. We can agree to disagree.
Well, someone say Ken Griffey. Ken Griffey's not the greatest of all time, but I mean he's among the best hitters.
He's he's one of those childhood players. He is one of the best players.
He had some swag to him though, like the backwards hat, and he had the shoes.
Baseball's tough because it's such an old sport. People just bring up dudes like Walter Johnson or Cy Young, and I'm like, I don't know if they were any good. Stats seem pretty good. I don't know. They're playing a dead ball here, and everyone's throwing 52 miles an hour. The hell if I know.
Cody, you should have responded back the way that you did regarding that person and the Bobby Witt Aaron Judge take with.
That's a stupid take, and you're a stupid person. What did I say that about?
I don't remember.
Not fun with the Royals right now, is it?
Hell no, it's not.
It probably was around the Royals because it was April 23rd in 2025.
It's not fun. Now people are just saying funny names like Jermaine Dye's the best player to ever play.
Actually, someone said Cam Devaney.
Need to trade back for Cam Devaney.
Yeah.
Is he still playing in Japan?
Could you imagine if they had Cam Devaney still in this organization? We wouldn't be sitting here talking about this problem. If Cam Devaney was arobe, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about this. That's what I was told at the time of the trade. That was the trade, you know? And in all seriousness, Adam Frazier, leadership-wise, maybe this team would have a few more wins.
Actually, that's what this show should start advocating for, trading for Adam Frazier. They have a winning record over the last 3 years with Adam Frazier and a losing one without him.
Oh, man.
Let's not overthink this.
He's on the Angels. Is he available?
Bring back Adam Frazier. I would like to start that now. I'd like him back.
Yeah.
I will say, in the 10 years or so now I've been doing sports radio in this town, the single most crazy I ever felt was when you and I had to defend that trading Cam Devaney meant nothing, and you all need to relax. I thought I was going crazy the way people were talking about Cam Devaney.
That was a weird time.
Who, by the way, is playing in the Japan League right now. He's hitting 212 with a 250 on base in 34 games.
How many homers?
0.
Well,
Adam
For
Frazier.
the
Adam Frazier.
Hanshin-
Adam Frazier is on the Angels. He's hitting 236 with 1 homer in 72 at bats.
He plays for the Hanshin Tigers of the Japan Farm League West Division.
Didn't we look up?
That's where Cam Devaney is.
I don't think you can get one of Cam's jerseys, but you can get a jersey of that team.
Is that right?
Should I order one and have it custom with Devaney on the back? You know, we can put that in the garage sale.
Not necessary, I don't think.
I mean, for the garage sale, that would be.
I was going to say,
if Rally House is willing to make a custom printed Devaney jersey, please. I'll even promise that in the next 15 years, I'll find a way to get an autograph for you. I don't know how, but I'll find Cam Devaney when he comes back from Japan, and we'll make it happen. We'll ship it to him.
Up next, let's talk about Major League Baseball's first proposal that's expected today when it comes to the CBA, plus the random question of the day right here on Cody and Gold.
This is Cody and Gold. on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Have you ever seen a drive-thru as less of a lunch option and more as a challenge? We can help. Just take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
The Kansas City Auto Show is back, taking over the Overland Park Convention Center. The latest cars and trucks, exclusive test drives. See the future of driving. Get your tickets now at kcautoshow.com. The Kansas City Auto Show, June 4th through 7th.
Hi, folks. Bob from Blue Springs Ford. Hey, Blaine, my sister Kathy wants to buy a Bronco at an employee price.
What perfect timing, because right now Blue Springs Ford is giving employee pricing to everyone.
So what's the real difference in pricing?
2025 Bronco Sport starting at $29,000.
Wow, that's less than $30,000.
Up to $10,000 off MSRP on 2026 F-150s, and you get a lifetime powertrain warranty for free.
Folks, go to bluespringsford.com right now, because this ends soon.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderson Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Go to bagkc.com.
The world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade the entire tournament over on Kalshi. On Kalshi, you can trade every match from the opening stage all the way to the final. For me in particular, I'll be honest, I kind of like going the standard where I can trade France at 17.9%, meaning a $100 investment could see $5.59 in return, or even Spain at 16.8%. On Kalshi, you're trading against your peers in a live market, meaning there is no house, and the probability changes. You can buy in and out of your position as you see. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get $10 when you trade 10. K-A-L-S-H-I, Kalshi. Trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regular.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
For all the things you have to do and places you need to be, let Uber take you there. Because you had just one more 3 rounds ago. Because the 5 a.m. flight seemed like a good idea at the time. Because check engine lights always appear at the worst possible times. And because parking downtown is a nightmare. Because there are nights out, airport trips, and car troubles in your area, there are drivers in your area. Uber. Request a ride today. Wait time varies. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
Hey, it's Gold. I have exciting news. Ford has announced employee pricing for everyone. Over at Shawnee Mission Ford, you pay what they pay, and you still get the rebates and incentives offered by Ford, along with the top trade-in value from Shawnee Mission Ford, who's on a mission to do more in 26.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Back here on Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. Reminder, coming up around 1 o'clock, we are expected to head out to Arrowhead Chiefs practice facility and hear from Andy Reid as well as Patrick Mahomes, who is out there at OTAs. I know Mac Morey's been posting some videos up on our station account right now as well, the Fan 965. If you go to Instagram and Twitter, you can check that out, get your little football fix. And, of course, it's always a great sign to see Patrick Mahomes back out on a football field, even if it is just OTAs and just doing some rollouts with no pads and no defense.
Well,
and all
the alternative
that. Yeah.
is he's not on a football
exactly.
field.
So that's great.
I'll take the he's on a football field part of it.
That's
no doubt.
great. Yep. People are gushing over Chad O'Shea, the wide receiver coach, on social media. I've seen that already. So it's football time, man. OTAs, phase, whatever we're on.
It certainly does feel that way up to this point. So we'll get you more football, baseball talk. It's obviously a bit of a bummer that the Royals have been not as good as we had hoped up to this point, but we'll still take the most of it. You had said, and look, we're watching these videos of him move around, and we got into it a little bit earlier on our guy, Dr. David Chow, who had this to say. This is his new video evaluating Patrick Mahomes moving at OTAs versus swinging a golf club. Was that the last time he had an opinion on the matter?
Yes.
And this is him on an actual football activity.
Let's look at another Patrick Mahomes video. This is Dr. David Chow, Sports Injury Central. Good to see Patrick Mahomes at OTAs. He is shown dropping back to make a pass in a big left knee brace. He looks pretty good in the pocket here, non-contact, but he still favors that left knee as he drops back, doesn't step through. He's making great progress. But as we've said before, there is no way biologically that he will be 100% for week one. Could he play from the pocket? Yes, you're seeing signs of it right now. Will he be himself and completely mobile? No. And the Chiefs have not even decided yet whether to run him out there week one or be cautious. Good progress here. Let's continue to see it and monitor the situation, but much to be determined yet before Patrick Mahomes plays in the season opener in 2026.
What's the problem?
I don't have an issue with him saying that he won't be 100% healthy. That's never been my argument, and I want to make that clear. That's never been the issue with what I said. The rest of it I just said is he comes off a little smug, so you don't want to hear it. He's got some questionable-ish medical history, so I trust him probably less than maybe another available.
You just don't like the way the guy talks.
Non-Twitter doctor.
That's what it sounds like.
And I think sometimes he makes observations that literally anybody can make, and so I don't take that with like medical grain of salt. Like just he's wearing a brace and favoring his leg. I can make that observation. I don't need to go to medical school.
There's also nothing he said that was different than the last time the golf video came out. You don't have to post every time.
He's doing content creation.
He runs a sports injury website. This is what he does. You don't have to consume it. I truly don't know why people like. I don't know why people are so negative. I get it. Like you want him to go on that video and tell you that Patrick Mahomes looks amazing and everything's going to be just fine. And
no, I don't think we are. I think we want. If you're not going to give anything that we can't tell ourselves, then that's different, then what's the point of you doing the video? Again, I didn't see the video. I don't need to see the video.
Because he's an injury doctor and football's not being played.
It doesn't.
He can only talk about so many things.
If you're saying he's telling you the obvious, but here, and I'm not saying you, but in general, people, whatever, would crush him if he was overly dramatic, like... I don't know what people
like
are...
in the health or his legs falling off? What do you mean?
Yeah, like right now...
It's a pretty tempered take.
Yeah, well, right. But so like... and people don't like that because you're even saying it's the obvious. I'm like, so you want him to go to the extreme? Like, he runs a sports injury website. He gives an opinion. Yes, he's got a past of some issues that you brought up. He's also been an orthopedic doctor for 30 years. I'll take his opinion over you and I and anybody else that wants to text in the show over anybody about... a guy that's actually conducted ACL surgery, if he just notices a limp or whatever, you can say you notice that as well. With all due respect, I'll trust his analysis, though, whenever it comes more than yours or mine.
Our analysis is the same.
He isn't analyzing anything, though.
Well, his gait.
He is, actually.
His analysis is the same thing that I saw.
You said the exact same thing that he's not going to be able to be out of the pocket and all that. It's the same breakdown. With all due respect,
it's the same breakdown.
When he says it, though, Drew, it carries more weight than when you say it or I say it. It just does.
I know that, but to Cody's point, it has more weight if somebody else. It has more weight. To Cody's point, either it's a different doctor or going back to the Ian Rappaport thing. The man's talking to the people who are representing the players. I guess we can say something, but if it means more weight if Ian Rappaport says it, just the same as it means more weight that Dr. David Chow is saying it compared to me.
What's funny about all of this is Alex's point of just don't consume it. I don't. I hadn't heard this clip.
I didn't either.
Literally hadn't heard this clip until...
Chiefs fans are all in his mentions.
We played it. Oh, I'm not saying that that's not the case. I'm saying I had not listened to the clip until you're like, this is on the show rundown. I'm like, I guess I got to go find
I only put in the rundown because I'm confused why Chiefs fans are so irritated by his videos.
I'm requesting when he puts out another video after this deal today that we don't talk about it because I'm tired of hearing the same thing.
Like, this is what I don't get. Someone says, I'm not questioning. They're saying, I'm not questioning it. I'm just his motive. What motive? Now he's anti-Chief? What are we doing?
Go back to the way that he's...
The content creation part, but he's also not... He's not going so far... He's not saying... This isn't... to me, this isn't the level of, like... We joke about Jason McIntyre or... Like, people who just... Or Craig Carton. Who just, like... says the most inflammatory thing just to be inflammatory.
But that's not what he's doing.
I don't think he's doing that. I genuinely don't think he's doing that.
It doesn't... It feels like he's giving his opinion more than it is. This is what medically... This is where he's supposed to be at medically.
It sounds like a doctor to me.
I would rather you tell me this... I would rather... Instead of him say, the throw looked pretty good, but you can see he doesn't step forward with his left foot. Like he said, he could have said... Based on the progress, 5 months into an ACL surgery, this is where we expect him to be at, where he's not able to plant his left leg. And do we think he's going to be 100% mobile? No, he's likely not going to be. That's the medical report. I don't need you saying the man's got a knee brace on and he can't plant his left foot properly.
There's a video of Alec Pierce who had surgery on his left ankle at Colts practice yesterday. The quote tweet from David Chow was, ankle still looks pretty stiff, a ways to go. Good thing week 1 is 3 months off. Are Colts fans freaking out about that analysis?
I don't know. They might be. Did you look at the mentions?
I haven't. Should I?
I think that this might be a Will Smith
no
Oscars
mentions from Colts
situation,
fans. They're MIA.
Which is keep his name out of your mouth. I think it might be that. I think there might be like a part of that.
Maybe.
Keep his name out of your mouth,
Maybe
Chow.
That's what it is.
And they're like, you used to be the Chargers team doctor and you screwed that up a bunch? Stay the hell out. Stay away from our guy. We don't I think it might. I genuinely think it might just be that.
Yeah, I
don't think
know.
Chiefs fans are overly sensitive compared to other fan bases.
I don't know,
Because I think
Cody,
Bills fans are a little bit on this one. They might be, but in general, I don't think that they like get in mentions just to get in mentions.
No.
But, like, it definitely happens. Plenty of fan bases do it.
This one just seems like people are a little sensitive that they expected him to tell them that. I told you the example that I would give you because I know the reaction was different. Nick Wright. We love Nick Wright. Great host. Obviously does an unbelievable job at FS1. I don't know anybody in Kansas City doesn't really like Nick Wright. Nick Wright on his show was talking about how Mahomes, it's the most impressive thing about Mahomes, is the greatest recovery. And, I bet you Chiefs fans love that. I bet you they love that clip. Why? Because he was gloating over the quarterback. David Chow tempering expectations. Oh, he's a hater.
From the neutral point of view, I don't like both of them having those takes. I'll be totally honest. I can't stand either of them. You don't need to be overly optimistic or just, I don't know. It's the smugness of which he says it, Dr. Chow, that I just don't get behind. It doesn't feel, which is why I didn't see the video. I don't want to see another one.
Content. It's fine.
And I'm sure that if he does another one, he's going to say relatively the exact same thing. And if we talk about it on the show, I will have the same opinion that he sounds smug and he could say things a little bit better.
Yeah, I don't.
In terms of describing it. It sounds like he's being not critical in a sense, but what else do you expect from the man 5 months in than to have not be able to go full send on a throw or on a golf swing?
And you're going to hate the Monday night broadcast when they're analyzing every throw of his and how that knee looks and everything.
I'm not going to care for it. But at least we'll see how he looks like when he's actually playing in week one, like we know he's going to, as opposed
this is just
to
the content
what
cycle.
David Chow is
look
saying.
what we do by that logic, we should just hit the fast forward button and not talk about Patrick Mahomes till September 10th.
Or just in the social media cycle, it's like not let anybody do a day in the life of, get ready with me. You should just get ready with me, Alex. Get ready with me, Alex Gold.
Right.
He just puts, chooses his clothes for the day, which shirt he's going to go with, why he's feeling that vibe.
All right.
Tussing up your hair, whatever, man.
Let's get to the random question of the day.
Random question.
For you, Gold. For you, Drew. Text line 913-586-7965. And, of course, over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. Live stream the show every single day. You can interact with us over on those platforms. Like and subscribe. Pop to the top of your feed. People have opinions on the same stuff we're talking about over there. Except unlike the text line,
people don't like his bedside manner.
Everybody can see it. Well, he should probably work on that. He is a bit of a dullard in a few of those, so that part doesn't help him. The random question I have today is about being a kid in summertime. My kids are obviously in the middle of that now, but I was trying to decide what do you think the modern day equivalent should be, and I want to know if we all just had the same childhood. Last night, 2 doors down from us, a friend of my son's from his school was at his grandparents, who apparently live 2 doors down. So he wanted to go down to their house to play, in which we gave him permission or whatever. But he got a new little watch.
All right.
And we're like, just come back at whatever time this is on your watch, and that'll be fine. Did we all, was it when the street lights come on for everybody as a kid? Or what was the system in place for you as a child is what I want to know. And what is the modern day equivalent? Say my kid literally just got a watch. What would I have told him if he didn't have it? How do we send kids home these days? He doesn't have a cell phone or a watch to text,
Yeah, that was definitely the thought. I think as a kid, you would just kind of knew your parents would say, like, because I lived in a cul-de-sac, and so yeah, when the lights went on, you kind of knew it was probably time to start wrapping up and head in.
I mean, we would be in the middle of the woods sometimes or whatever. So like, I don't know, like I don't feel like it was firmly when the lights came on, but we tried to be home-ish. In the summer though, that might be 9 o'clock at night. Like that runs pretty late in the summertime. Drew, what was yours? Was yours when the lights come on? Was this everybody's standard experience for anybody our age?
Yeah.
Or did your parents say like 8?
No. It was never really like a set time, I guess. Not necessarily.
They weren't not. How strict were your parents?
I mean, and for certain things, they were more strict than others. I guess, like in terms of like bedtime, particularly. Like I didn't really have a bedtime necessarily. Like I needed to go to bed or a time that I needed to get up. But other things, they were, I don't know, more strict on, I guess.
Like, I'm going to need better examples of that later. Just give me a second. From the 620, someone says, my stepdad could whistle so loud I could hear from 2 blocks away that I knew it was time to get home.
All right.
My kids are interesting. I've got one kid, my older, Ruby, the daughter. She will, Gold, unprompted, put herself to bed whenever she wants and will wake up at the same time every day. So, like, it gets late. And she'll look at me dead in the eye and be like, all right, I'm going to bed. I'll see you. Like, no bedtime. Never made her have a bedtime. She's just like, I'm tired. I'll see you later. Going to bed now.
Yeah, my parents
we're all still just up hanging out. It's like, good night.
I mean,
I'm tired now.
In terms of like playing outside,
Crazy.
I think we just kind of knew that you were to be back by dark, I guess, if you were outside playing with friends. But even still, like a lot of people would come over to our place because we had the cul-de-sac. We would play football down the cul-de-sac. We'd race bikes down the cul-de-sac, like all those things. That was the hangout was being around. There were
you
more
guys
street
might just have
lights
a slightly different answer.
There were more street lights around my house.
I could have been
So you could stay out
anywhere
later?
at 8 o'clock at night. I could have been because I didn't live in a cul-de-sac. We could have been anywhere in a like 40 block Gracemore neighborhood, or sometimes we'd cross all 6 lanes of 435 to go to Clay Como. Living over there from Gracemore. I used to take my bike across it so we could cut the corner a little bit, make it faster to go play basketball. Insane. Don't recommend it. Please do not follow any safety advice from my childhood, in which I probably narrowly escaped death every other day.
The only time there was a set time is if, hey, dinner's at 5:45. If you want dinner, you should be back at 5:45.
What's an early dinner? What time? What do you guys do dinner now? What's the standard?
Varies.
Ooh,
Yeah,
varies,
it depends. You know, if I grab like lunch after the show, then of course I'll eat much later. There's some times where I'm like, all right, I won't get lunch after the show, but I'll eat at 5. It just depends if I'm where I'm at right after the show.
Your parents didn't sound strict-ish either. You didn't have.
We had a cul-de-sac, so it was nice. We had a whole neighborhood.
Did you have a lot of rules? Bedtime?
I mean, during the school year, obviously. Yeah, I don't know what time it was, but yeah.
There was like
the summertime was pretty flexible, but it was like, you know, it's more about making sure they were aware of like where I was at, right? It wasn't so much that
They didn't care if you went somewhere.
It's more like they wanted to know where you were. That was
I-
always the thing.
Yeah, I think maybe at some point they probably there might have been a but you know, like I told you, I called from the Gulf of Mexico once when I was in high school.
I think ours was my parents' strictness was more about what we watch,
screen time.
Yeah, screen. It wasn't like screen time. It was more of like what we watched, like the things we were consuming.
Oh man,
more than anything else.
Straight to the counter to buy the explicit albums my entire childhood. No limitations on rated R movies. None of that.
Yeah, we never watched rated R movies ever. We never watched rated R movies.
Zero restrictions on that. Were your parents strict about that, Gold?
I mean, it was one of those where my dad, not as much as my mom on that. So like we joked about The Sopranos the other day. I was obviously very young when Sopranos was first on HBO or whatever. But there were definitely some times where I was just out there and it was like, okay, whatever. I was allowed to. My mom, that was not like an encouraged thing, but it was like my dad would still be out there watching it. And I not when I was 9 years old, but when it was multiple seasons in.
When I was that age, there was no.
Not at 9. Like it was like 13 or whatever. I was able to watch it a little as long as it was with somebody.
Like one of the shows my kids like now, I think it's more geared towards like a slightly older audience. So like it's a YouTube series, and when there's new episodes out, I'm like, I got to watch it first and then make a determination. So there's like 8 total episodes of this thing ever. They come out like once every 6 months. One of them I watched, and I got like, I don't know, 5 minutes into it. I'm like, this one you're just gonna have to skip. This one's not gonna work. This isn't one of those like they're making jokes that are just over your head, and you'll understand later why that joke was funny to the adults in the room. That happens in all kinds of kid content. But instead, they're like, I just don't think you can watch this. This is going to come with some questions. So I'm not answering those things. And you're going to figure it out. But I'll let one of the songs my daughter likes is Anxiety by Doechii. I'm like, hey, you want to listen to it? I said, you can't say the bad words. And she just doesn't sing that part. She sings the other parts. And then when the bad word comes up, she just keeps her mouth closed. It's fine. Seems fine. She's okay. She doesn't cuss in front of people.
So they were born in 1972. Their dad also whistled so loud you could hear him multiple blocks away, plus the street light coming on.
Man, I didn't know this whistle thing. We actually had a bell on the front of our house.
Wait, they just ring a bell?
We did. My grandma gave it to us once, and so like
that's old school. That's old school.
If we were really, you think I was born in the 30s?
That's old school.
If we were, I think she like bought it because they ran an antique store when we were kids, and so they hung it on the house. It wouldn't happen often, but there was a bell hanging on our house. So if you really needed to like get someone's attention, you could rattle the hell out of that thing. It was loud.
I'm sure your neighbors love that.
I don't know, man. It was different. Everybody's neighbors didn't hate each other in the 90s. We were all outside and loud, and everybody's kids were outside. I think it was just like an accepted amount of loudness being alive in the 90s versus now, where it's less common for kids to be outside making noise and all that other stuff. Times change, Someone says 5:30 to 6 for dinner, by the way. They don't eat after 9 because your body doesn't process
That part is true. That part is true.
Good to know. Keep that in mind. That's my random question of the day. We got to hear from Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, hopefully here in just a few moments, as they're expected to go live outside of Arrowhead. As a reminder, by the way, it's not Arrowhead, it's a
practice facility.
Practice facility.
Whatever.
Plus, that's a Kansas City Stadium here pretty soon based on the World Cup
all
stuff.
the signage is up. Even at the Royals game 2 nights ago, the parking lot's got all the tents in there already, and the FIFA World Cup 2026. The big letters are up already on the stadium and on the end zones and stuff. So, look, we're only 2.5 weeks away, right? Ish, something like that.
Exactly that. We do, by the way, have a lot of great items out for the Cody and Gold Garage Sale that are Chiefs related. There's a game issued, I believe is the correct terminology.
Or player issued or
player
something,
issued. L'Jarius Sneed signed jersey. We obviously have told you about the LRZ helmet. Some previous giveaways like a Hallmark ornament or season ticket member giveaways that had happened over the years. So we've got Royal stuff. We've got Chiefs stuff. We got a little bit of everything to go with it. And as soon as that thing goes live, we'll let you know. It'll all be up on 965thefan.com. You'll be able to access the website through there. And then you'll get to see all the available items to you. If you've been missing that bobblehead, maybe you missed one of the ones this year. Jake gave us the rock, paper, scissors one from this season or whatever, right?
Yep, plus experiences, right? We got a bunch of items, but all the experiences, whether it's the private tour of the museum with Bob Kendrick, whether it's going to have drinks with Bink and Dusty or with Cody, or go out to Prairie Band for the sports book and Firekeeper Golf Course with me, or golf with the producers, golf with Drew and the producers, you name it. We've got some really cool experiences that we're finalizing as well. All proceeds benefit the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. That is Wednesday, June 10th. Auction site goes live at 7 a.m. We'll have, of course, our normal show that day. We'll also be highlighting the items and experiences throughout the show. And sometimes you never know, new things get added last minute as well. So we're excited to do that. Someone wants to know if they can get your glasses. Cody has never found his glasses, so those will not be in the auction unless he finds them in the next couple of days.
Yeah. This these are from Warby Parker, as they had mentioned. If I ever find my old glasses, which I have not yet, I'll happily put them in any future garage sale. I need to go look today for I've offered to maybe put my UMKC diploma up there. What else do you want from my house? If it'll raise money from the museum.
What else do you want from my house?
If it'll raise money for the museum, tell me what you want. Tell me what personal items from me or Alex or Drew you want, and I will find a way to get those things in the garage sale in order to do it. Like somebody who's asking, hey, can we have an experience to rip packs with gold? We're working on it.
Yep.
We're going to see if maybe we can make something like that happen. So, we got to make the most of everything we've got. Somebody making the joke that the Modesty batting helmet is not game worn in there. Didn't play a lot of games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably not on that end.
All right, let's get an early break in here. That way we don't miss anything that's happening out at the Chiefs practice facility, just in case. So we'll get an early break. We'll come back. We're expected to hear from Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. We'll talk a little more Chiefs football and kind of what we do expect, including a video that has been circulating around Chad O'Shea, the wide receiver coach at practice, and maybe a different vibe than what we've seen in the past. That's coming up next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
We're just talking about the changes to the stadium. That's because the world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade the entire tournament over on Kalshi. On Kalshi, you can trade every match from the opening stage all the way to the final. With them just a few games, weeks away, you can start looking at what things are trading at. These change daily. So you got to pay attention because you can buy in and out of your position and see where they're at. For instance, maybe you're interested in saying, I think Brazil has a good chance to do it. They're trading at 9.2%, which means a $50 investment could net you $544 if they were to take the whole thing down. Again, those things do continue to trade because on Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house, and the probability changes daily. So you can buy in and out of your position, could change hourly even for that matter. So for a limited time only, download the Kalshi app and use code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to get $10 when you trade 10 Kalshi, K-A-L-S-H-I, trade on anything. 18 plus only, restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Every contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
The most important thing a customer can give you isn't their money, it's their trust. I'm Airman for Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Midwest and Lennox are now offering up to $1,400 rebates on high-efficiency home comfort systems and 0% 60-month financing with approved credit on these qualifying Lennox systems. Every day, we strive to meet the highest standards in the industry, yours. But we are human. If we make a rare mistake, we make it right, and right away. That's what Bill instilled in all of us. Now, the third generation stands on the shoulders of the past, improves on it, and passes it on to the next. Give us the chance to earn your business. Just dial 943-8787 or go to MidwestHeating.com. Trust your air to the best. Midwest. Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Hey, it's Rob Britton from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And Rob, I'm Scott Parks from Dana and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC will feature the biggest names who made the World Cup in Kansas City possible, plus the biggest storylines heading into this summer's tournament. This is not a podcast about soccer. Don't get us wrong. This is a podcast about Kansas City. This is a podcast for Kansas City. And this is a podcast that'll tell the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes will be released every Wednesday starting on March 4th, as well as video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ's social channels.
Subscribe and download to Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series with myself and Rob Bretton on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
When you're at work, you never know when you'll be interrupted. But with the Dell Pro, powered by Intel Core Ultra with vPro, no matter what distracts you, your laptop won't. It's battery optimized for the way you work with built-in intelligence that quiets distractions when you need to focus. Your laptop will help keep you locked in, even when it's bring your dog to work day. Built for those who stay in the flow. The Dell Pro, built for you. Dell.com/Dell-Pro.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The 5th annual Cody and Gold Garage Sale is back Wednesday, June 10th, with all auction items benefiting the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
1 o'clock hour here on a Thursday. It's Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We are expected to head out to the Chiefs practice facility in the next couple of minutes. As you guys know, sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but we'll see as soon as practice wraps up. Get to hear from Andy Reid. Patrick Mahomes will be one of the first times he's talked in a while.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe right. Has he talked?
Has he had a press availability since?
Surgery?
Trying to remember.
I think so, because they had Gardner Minshew talking, didn't they?
Yeah, it might be.
Might be the first time he's talked since the injury.
He's had some other quotes come out, but maybe the first true media availability.
I think he had one to end the season, I got hurt, this season didn't go, something around there. But
I'm trying to remember.
It's not often, I'll say.
So we'll hear from both of them at some point this hour, hopefully very, very soon, as OTAs continues out at the Chiefs practice facility. You know, the videos that come out, look, it's people are football starved, and so they're cool to see the guys back on the field. The one video I think Mac put out there that I saw got some traction was about Chad O'Shea, and I asked you the question earlier, it was so bad with the prior wide receiver coach that are we hyping up a position coach too much now on the opposite end?
Probably.
I think Chad O'Shea is a huge asset now to this team. A guy that has a track record of coaching guys like Randy Moss and Wes Welker, et cetera. And he knows what the hell he's doing first and foremost. And I don't doubt that at all.
He's qualified to do the job.
Which should have been the bare minimum anyway, right?
You'd think.
So I'm excited about
nepotism
that.
or whatever the hell happened in the last case.
So the video that Mac put out and others have put out, Chad O'Shea's getting after the wide receiver group or whatever. And people are like, this is what they really need. And I agree, but also deep down is what's happening in OTAs with that. Is that actually going to be the difference? Where I think it matters is, the accountability from O'Shea and Eric Bieniemy. I'll buy into that. The laziness that might exist. But OTAs, when they're not going up against defense, when there's no pads on, it's just hard to tell from that. How about that?
Yeah, I think that when you look at it's overhype is probably a little strong. Do we want to make it seem like he's going to turn Xavier Worthy into Devonta Smith, or he's all of a sudden an all-pro wide receiver? No, but this is a little bit like the running back thing in the sense that the wide receivers will be better by default too, so I don't want to just give it all to O'Shea. As in, if Rashee Rice plays, you'll think he's better because he's available, Gold. If Xavier Worthy has 100 more yards, he might have had that under the previous guy. If they take huge leap forwards, that's when I'll start factoring in some more of that. Like if he takes a leap to 900 yards,
well, sure,
we're having a very different conversation. But do I think they are better served in a unit in which Eric Bieniemy will hold some people accountable in the route running department, and that they have a qualified wide receiver coach who's been doing the job for 20 years? I think it'll have an impact, but an impact is 5%, which might be all they need, Gold. It's just they're not going to all turn into all pro superstars, though. It's it's a limitation. It's also just really tough because I don't want to. It's like EB. I don't want to give Eric Bieniemy all the credit if the running game's better. Well, of course it's better.
No, but
it's Ken Walker.
It is, but also when Eric Bieniemy got hired, we said at the time, it's why it's such a great thing for Eric Bieniemy in this opportunity, Cody, is that if it goes well, he is going to get a lot of credit, and if it goes poorly, it's going to be on Andy Reid, not on Eric Bieniemy, not on Chad O'Shea. So that's why it was an unbelievable opportunity for Eric Bieniemy to come back. Fans aren't going to blame him if the offense is bad or not. It doesn't improve. Yeah. They're going to say, "Oh, it's Andy Reid," and ultimately he's the head coach, and so I get that. But my point is, no, it's not like when Matt Nagy took the job after Eric Bieniemy left and everything. Where it's well, what happened? This is going to be if it gets better, sure, he gets props, and if it's the same or worse, it's going to be more about Andy Reid and the entire system.
Sure. And that's fine. Like Chad O'Shea, I don't think you're a 20-year wide receiver coach because you thrive on the credit. No, you're buried far enough down the list. But you know what's funny is there's never been a better time to get some of the credit in this town. Because if what I just said happens, Rashee Rice gets 1,000 yards and Xavier Worthy gets 800. Oh, people will be singing the praises from.
Well, it'll give you confidence in if they draft a receiver, let's say they draft a receiver next offseason.
That person can be good.
It makes you believe that he can develop. Sure.
It's hard because development does matter. And I'm not saying that's not a portion of being an NFL coach. I think it matters more for quarterback than we make it out to be in any other position. In a lot of other positions, I think there's more of a you can just play aspect. I think quarterbacks you can screw up more easily than you can screw up a wide receiver.
Quarterback.
I don't see a lot of wide receivers be awful in some place and then go rule somewhere else,
All right, let's go out to the practice facility and hear from Andy Reid right now on 96.5 The Fan.
And this is phase 3, just to reiterate.
Phase 3. There it is.
Wasn't sure which
we've been
phase.
lucky, though. We've had great success with people showing up, and everybody's been here somewhere along the line doing their thing, and that's a positive. So look forward to just keep getting better within the rules that we're given. There's no contact and so on, so you guys kind of know how that rolls. But you still get a lot of work done, and I like the way our guys are going about it, especially our young guys. They're great introduction for them as they get into this. As far as Rasheed goes, we're aware of the situation. The league's aware of it. We've talked to the league. We get it. And as far as any further ado to that, there's been no talk about anything further. We're moving forward just normal as we go here. When he gets back, we got to get him caught up and doing what he.
Your job doesn't stop.
Again, you're listening to Andrew's press conference. Apologies, it's streaming over on YouTube, and so sometimes the ads will pop up there. We're going back out there.
It's not an easy thing he's going through. So life lessons are important, but we're all given chances to learn, and so he's in that position now. I think I've covered it. You guys, time's yours.
Question, Coach. Just following up on that. Do you and does the team do you all still trust Rasheed with his judgment making?
Yeah, I was just going to leave it with what I said there. Yeah, I mean, I know lessons can be learned, and that's important.
Regarding the knee with Rasheed and not the off-the-field issues, how did that come about him needing that cleanup procedure, and do you expect to be ready by camp?
Yeah, so we think he'll be ready for camp as we go forward. We'll just see how it goes. He's been in communication with Rick, and he knows the rehab that he can do there, and I think they're keeping an eye on him, as far as any possible infection goes.
Coach, speaking about potentially being ready for camp, obviously the big one, Patrick Mahomes, 2 days of workouts on the field out there. How's he looking to you, and how encouraged are you by his progress?
Yeah, Herbie, I like what I've seen. He's working hard. This is good for him. I mean, getting out there and throwing, it's good rehab as he, continued rehab, so he keeps a feel with the receivers where he's doing partial practice, but it's important. It's important to keep his timing up. But he's busted his tail to put himself in this position. Most guys wouldn't even be able to do this, but he's put himself in that position. And I know we've got good communication with the doctors, and they keep a close eye on it and what's real and what's not real. So, and then we listen to them.
To finish up injuries, Hicks and Worthy were non-contact, and Norman Lott with that helmet. I was wondering if there's updates on each guy.
Yeah, I normally don't do injuries during this, so but they had a procedure done, so we keep them where their doctors want them, non-contact.
I know we've asked before a little bit about some of the new, or in Eric's case, and Old Face coming back, but some of the new offensive coaches. Now you've had a little bit more time with him. You've seen some more stuff on the field. So what are your thoughts about kind of what they bring, and it's different, better, whatever?
Yeah. No, listen, I like the old coaches. Good job, so I don't want to slight them, but it's good to have these guys in there. They've got some experience at their spots, and they're challenging the guys with fundamentals and techniques, the thing they can get done now. DeMarco's case, he's been there as a player. He's got a good relationship with EB. EB also knows that spot like the back of his hand. So, and then as far as Chad goes, Chad is got 24 years in this league, so he's got a lot of experience and coached a lot of really good players, and so it's good to have him in that spot in that room. And then EB brings great energy. I mean, he knows everything. He's got it all down, and he can coach any spot, and he does a great job with it.
Andy, for this week's practices, did you feel like there was anything you had to do to adjust for Patrick's participation, and just what was the thought process of just not having him a part of it?
Yeah, Nate, so we just keep him,
the team portion.
Yeah, we just keep him out of the team portion. Other than that, he's doing a good job with everything else. So he can travel under center as long as I just don't want him in any area where there might be a sweep coming, the jet sweep action or something of that sort. So we kind of keep him out of those those situations.
How beneficial is this week for Xavier? Even though he had the procedure, how beneficial is it for him
Yeah, you know what? He's really doing a nice job. It's great for him to be able to detail things, and he's working like crazy at it. And I think he feels more comfortable now. You know, he had a couple things cleaned out there, so he's feeling good about that, and I think he's in a good spot. We just don't want to take any steps back. You know.
Andy, progress report just on two guys, Chipotle and Jalen Roy. Just what you see from them.
Yeah, so they're rotating in with the first group, and with Rasheed not here, it gives Jalen some great reps. You know, at the wide receiver position, he's strong. He looks strong out here and running well and that whole deal. So it's good. It's great for him. It's great for him to and the quarterbacks to see what he's all about on repeated reps. Issa, you can tell he really worked this off season, and he looks strong out there. He's a smart kid when you get to know him. He doesn't have a ton of experience, but he's a smart kid, and he gets it. So he's getting reps in there with the starters and kind of rotating in. Andy does a nice job of rotating those guys at guard and tackle. So, yeah.
We'll go around the room here. Let's start with Vahe. Go ahead, Vahe.
Andy, I'm sure you're not surprised by Patrick's determination to get back, but I wonder if you thought he'd be this advanced in those first few days after the injury.
Yeah, I don't put anything past him, so I don't want to tell you. And I think everybody's different in how you go about, you approach it, and so but I wouldn't put it past where he's at, and I don't judge it. I just, you know, people say, is he ahead of schedule? And I'm not, like, who made the schedule, right? So everybody's different, and the way he goes about it is different. He and Julie have spent a ton of time working together, and she's tough on him now, man. I mean, she puts him through the ropes there. So, and he's willing to come back. Half the battle, I think, on that, besides the healing part, right? Half the battle is trusting the person that's doing the rehab with you, and then showing up the next day. And it doesn't necessarily feel good, but if you keep coming, it works out okay.
And you feel like he's learned or been disciplined about the restraint he needs? I mean, because I'm sure it's tempting for him to overdo it.
Yeah, because she gauges that, so she knows when to back him down, and I mean, he'll stay here and do anything. So she knows how to gauge him and what to do with him. He misses nothing. He saw Matt out there with a boot on, and he right away. Huh? he was worried about you.
Harold.
Rookies had their own spot, but now they're kind of ingraining themselves with the veterans. How do you think that's progressed? And also, Kenneth Walker, how do you feel he's just fitting into the fold?
Yeah, you know what? He's doing a good job. He's got a ton of energy, and you can tell he loves to play the game, wants to learn what we're doing here. He's coming from a great program, so you know, he gets it. It takes work to be good, and he's willing to do that. Stronger than Knox. I mean, he's put together now.
Also, with the rookies ingraining themselves with the veterans, how's that process?
Yeah, it's been good. It's a good rookie class, it looks like. So they're able to. They've got an aptitude to them where you can tell them something once and they get it, as opposed to having to repeat and repeat and repeat. So they seem to be pretty sharp kids.
Nick.
Yeah, Andy, when you look at the running back room collectively, what's kind of stood out and jumped out at you through the first 3 days?
Yeah, you've got that. You've got a nice mix of a couple of veteran guys that have been there, done it, and then you got this influx of young guys that are just eager and to learn. And I think that's healthy. So there's going to be pretty good competition, I think, amongst those guys for that final roster spot there.
Herbie?
Coach, with Mahomes not working with teams, you're getting a really good look at Justin Fields with the first team. What are some of your impressions so far? Has he done anything that surprises you?
Yeah, very smart and a hard worker and very calm. Like he's a cool cucumber, man, right? He gets it. He's been there. You can tell he's been there. again, he's trying to work on all the ball actions that we're doing, play action stuff that we're doing that might be a little bit different. Some of the drops, trying to fit them in with the receivers. He doesn't know all these receivers yet, so he's getting to know these guys, and so he can stay on time with them. But I like what I see. Extremely smart, though. I mean, he's sharp.
Sam?
Yeah, a couple things. Amy, don't want to assume anything based on your opening statement, but your anticipation is that Rasheed's not going to be facing any discipline. Is that what you're saying in the week?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know that. I know he's done some things already that he's got to take care of, so that we're giving to him. But I don't. I haven't heard anything. No, we're kind of moving forward.
And then the second thing is with some of the coaches, and not a commentary on last year's coaches, but Chad seems to have a lot of energy out there, and obviously EB's energy. Do you feel that at practice every day?
Yeah, you notice it. Yeah, I think they love what they're doing. I think all of them. They love what they're doing, and they're not afraid to express that. The players feel it. I think that's healthy. And I think that discipline on offense is very, very important. That you maintain that and incorporate that into the structure of what you're doing as far as running plays.
We'll go last three. Steve, go ahead. Oh, you good? Good there.
Coach, well, going back to the rookies, Cyrus Allen in particular, I know he was on offense. Talking to him before the draft, he said he is someone who wants to make sure he knows the X, Y, and Z position. Obviously, with the reps that he's able to get now, what have you seen from him thus far?
Yeah,
The retention of the rookies with the playbook.
He's doing a nice job with that, actually. So it's a good question. He's got a good feel for the three spots there, from whether it's inside or the two outside spots, and the Y is the tight end, by the way. Just make sure. All right. Detail your work, man. Zebra is the inside guy. All right. So yeah. All right. Well, he's doing a nice job with it.
Nate?
Andy, when you guys aren't on the practice field before this week, you talked before about the participation obviously being high. Just what have you noticed from your core leaders, Chris, Travis, Patrick, about what they're trying to imprint to the rest of the guys for this upcoming season?
Yeah. Nick Bolton, another one. I mean, these guys that have been there and done it. Drew is part of that too. He's been around a long time. So, and there are others. Creed and Trey. I mean, they know what it takes and the discipline that it takes. So, between all those guys, they're not afraid to express that and work. Get them to continue to work.
Last one, Neil Jones. You still?
Coach, how has OTAs changed for you guys over the years, and has this one got a little more juice because of the way last year ended?
I don't know. I think they've all, when they come back, they're always a little bit juiced up for phase 3, beginning of phase 3. I've liked the turnout we've had. It's probably one of the better turnouts we've had, so that's important. And I like that energy. And I don't know if it's, I don't harp on last year and all that. That's past. We're moving forward. You learn from it and you go. One great thing about the NFL, man, is every year is a little bit different, and you better approach it that way and maximize yourself for that year.
Good. Thanks, Coach.
All right, so that was Andy Reid speaking to the media after OTAs today. We are expected to hear from Patrick Mahomes. You heard Andy address just his progress so far. Mahomes was doing the 7-on-7 stuff, not the team drills at this point in time, and his recovery from the ACL. The last part there, I actually do think that is somewhat significant, which is they have basically everybody there, other than Rashee Rice, everybody there at OTAs. That does not always happen.
And Rice was probably planning on being there, or at least attending in some capacity. No, it is. Look, I think it's very, very clear. What Andy Reid said at the end there when he's saying, well, I'm not trying to talk about last year. It's because of last year. The attendance at OTAs being at an all-time high is because, well, the other 3 years, things were going fine. We were just going to the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship game or winning Super Bowls. We stunk last year.
I also
Time to get back into the office and, figure something out. I think it's motivation because of a poor season. I really do.
I think it's that. I also think when your quarterback's coming off an injury and his ass is working hard
that's true.
And out there despite having the injury, I think that motivates guys to be. If the Mahomes is on the field already, then what the hell are you not doing out there, right? I think that also could be impacting it. You did hear them mention a few times about the yellow non-contact jerseys. We don't know the exact, procedure, cleanup procedure, whatever it was, but Jaden Hicks, yellow non-contact out there at number 21, and then also Xavier Worthy. Was that a cleanup procedure on something? Was it what? We don't know exactly. I guess we'll find out closer to training camp in St. Joe. But Xavier Worthy, we know he dealt with injuries all last year. He had the labrum injury, the shoulder labrum injury, and had the ankle injury during the season. So one of those procedures were needed that are impacting his availability for OTAs at least.
That's not shocking. And also when it comes to stuff like that, like shoulders or labrums, get it fixed so that it's not a problem in the season. I'm not overly worried when someone's not available for voluntary OTAs on May 28th. I'd like him to be available by training camp, though.
Patrick Mahomes speaking for one of the first times in a while, I believe. Let's hear from him right now.
Back on the field and just be with the guys. I think more than anything, when you're some of those days you're rehabbing, you're kind of here by yourself or with a couple of the other guys, and you kind of get that juice whenever everyone gets back in the building. So it was good to be out there and be able to take part in a little bit of the practice.
How are you doing with the brace?
I wore a brace in college, so on the same knee, and so it's not too different than what I've felt before, and so now it's just kind of just getting adjusted to it. But obviously, I'm not like running and cutting and doing all that stuff in it yet, so that'll get another adjustment period at some point. But it's good to get these reps now, so I can kind of speed that adjustment period along.
Obviously, the goal for you is still week number 1 for you, correct?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as a competitor, I want to be out there with my guys, but I know that's still a long ways away, and so all I can do is just execute the day and do whatever I can to be better that day. And so we've done that up until now, and we've kind of set these checkpoints and these goals of like where I want to be at, and I've gotten to those. And so now I just got to continue to do that at the right pace.
People talk about your competitiveness, but what's a normal day, week look like for you? Because they talk about you being up there all the time. So what's like a normal 9 to 5 Friday look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, right now, with the practices, it gets a little bit longer. But I mean, you come in early in the morning, you rehab and kind of get everything moving around. Then you go to meetings. You come down, you warm up before practice, go to practice, and then you come out of practice. Usually I'd be rehabbing right now. Brad's got me in here, but then you go to meetings again, and then you end up going and rehabbing after, and then I go home and then chase kids around until I fall asleep.
Finally, during your golf day, did you do any recruiting when you were out there?
I didn't do much recruiting. I leave that to Veach and the guys. I think we recruit ourselves just by who we are. So I like having veterans around and guys like that at that tournament, and they're the only guys that can get off work that week. And so there were some good football players there, but I didn't do any recruiting in that standpoint. I think I leave that to Veach and the guys.
Patrick, obviously you're going to have some physical stuff you want to get through. You mentioned just cutting and stuff. What sort of mental stuff do you want to get through over the next couple of months before you feel mentally ready?
Yeah, I think it comes at a pace. I think this first step was getting the 7-on-7, and for me, it's more of just seeing the defense. I've been a long time of not being out there and seeing the plays develop, the defense out there, and so it's been good to see that. Just even if I'm just from the pocket and stuff like that. And then the next step will be getting with team and getting under center and stuff like that. But we'll to kind of progress to that, and then they'll be going out there and playing, being live and with the guys, and then eventually you get the games. And so it's a process. You have to stay a part of it, and I've kind of learned that all I can do is be great that day. And if I continue to be great every single day, then I can get to those goals, that I can get the opportunity to be out there on the field.
Andy mentioned checkpoints. Obviously 7-on-7 today, no 11-on-11. Is it feasible for you maybe to participate in 11-on-11 at the start of training camp, or is that a goal that'll be midway?
I mean, it's kind of, we'll see. Like, you kind of have like these like week to 2 week kind of checkpoints where I got to get to. So I think the biggest thing for me now is kind of getting to the running and cutting, and I've started that stuff. But until I'm able to protect myself and go out there and be there, they're gonna keep me safe and not let me have the opportunity as much as I want to be out there. But I think if I can continue to do this stuff the right way, that's the hope for me at least. And so all I can do is execute this next checkpoint of getting that cutting, being able to protect myself, prove to Julie and Rick and those guys and Dr. Cooper that I can protect myself. Then they'll let me go out there and be a part of the team drills, and then that'll progress into games.
Patrick, how much of a comfort is it to have Julie be sort of a part of this process? Obviously, she's been traveling with you as well, and what are the ways that she's sort of tried to both push you and encourage you? It's sort of I feel like it's probably a yo-yo effect at times.
Yeah, it's a lot like just I've known her for so long, and I trust her so much. It's kind of like when I train with Bobby or even when I'm at home with Brittany, they know how to like push me whenever I don't feel like doing the work. And so Julie has a great feel with. I mean, there's days you come in, you're tired. I mean, you're sore and your stuff like that, but she's gonna make sure I finish the entire workout, and I'm gonna do it the right way. And you got to have someone that's going to push you like that. That's not scared to push you even when you're not feeling great. And she does that, and she knows when to kind of pull back on some days. She can tell how I'm working out if I need to pull back or how I'm feeling. And so just having the ultimate trust that she's going to do that, it lets me just go out there and just work and not have to think about, am I doing too much? Am I doing not enough? And knowing that she's talked to Dr. Cooper, she's talked to Rick, she's talked to everybody, and she knows what she's doing. And so definitely a big advantage for me having her in the building.
What adjustments have you had to make while you've been out here and you're in the breaks and everything? Is there a big adjustment, or is it just?
I told Coach Reed I think it's helping me a little bit because I can't move around, so it's kind of settling my feet down. It's kind of like when I hurt my ankle. Sometimes it's like I can't scramble and I can't do these things, so it makes me sit in the pocket and go through the reads and do that stuff. So I'm gonna try to use it to my advantage. You know, like it's stuff that I can get better at as progression through the entire concept and stuff like that. And I don't have the ability to scramble and do that stuff right now, and so it should help me in those things that hopefully whenever I get that ability back, I still will go through the progressions at a higher rate than I've done in the past.
And Coach Reed talked about EB being back out there,
Mhm.
the energy, you know, it's picked up.
Yeah,
What do you mean having him back in your headset?
Yeah, no, it's just a standard that you have to practice with and you have to play with, and he's going to hold you to that standard no matter who you are, from the first guy to the 90th guy right now. He's going to hold you to that standard, and I think that's something that it's hard to replicate. I think that's the best way to say it, and he has brought in a lot of concepts and a lot of things that I've really liked that we've added in now, and so I think it's good to have him back in the building, having that energy back. A lot of these guys haven't had a EB, and so they understand it. And I think, but honestly, I think it's been cool. They're really receptive of it, and even though it's hard, I mean, there's hard days. They know why we're doing it. I think it's kind of, you can see it, the guys, and they want to be great and they want to be better than we were last year. And so we've had a good start to these OTAs, and we just got to keep pushing through it.
For the guys that haven't had an EB, what was your message to them? Like what to expect from them?
I mean, they still haven't seen EB yet. You know what I mean? Like he's I'm not gonna say he's taking it easy. He's still pushing the guys, but he holds them to a standard. They haven't had those days because it's usually training camp when guys get tired and they lose kind of that will to kind of finish and to kind of do all the exact right things, and that's when EB is gonna hold you to that standard. And so we haven't gotten to there yet, but as long as you keep having good practices, we can prolong that as long as possible. But I love it, man. I truly do, and I think you can feel it even in the meeting rooms, like the way he carries himself with the confidence that he carries himself with. I think it really focuses you in on what you're learning, the little details of things, and so it's been exciting to me. That first meeting had me run through a brick wall, man. It had me ready to go.
Go ahead. Patrick, rehab can be, emotionally kind of demanding for a lot of people. Have you had challenges that way, like anybody else, in terms of just finding the juice?
Not necessarily as finding the juice. I think it's just, especially at the beginning, there was things that I wanted to do that I couldn't do yet, and so those days were hard. But I always look back at the week. We will take some videos, and I look back at the week prior, and I'm making progress. I think as long as I'm making progress, I have to continue to just do that. And so even though it might not be the perfect thing to do, I have to just keep reminding myself that I am making progress, I am getting better, and you got to push yourself through those days. I mean, it's not always perfect, it's hard days, and you got to push yourself through because the end goal is where you're trying to get to, and I think that's just kind of how I am.
And just in the days right after the injury, would you have pictured being this advanced at this point, or maybe you didn't set any limitation or expectation?
Yeah, I wanted to play, so I don't want to miss games as much as possible. I know it's not all in my control. It's in God's control at some point, but I'm going to give myself a chance by the way I work to be the best I can be. And so I'm in a good spot now compared to where some people thought, but I thought I was going to be here. So it's just doing what I'm supposed to do every single day, and then hopefully that gives me the chance to be out there with the guys whenever we start the season.
We've got time for a few more guys. Go ahead, Jesse. Hey, Patrick, you said in January your goal was week 1 to be back. We've had a few more months now.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts now?
Yeah, that's always going to be the goal. I don't want to miss games. As a competitor, as a football player, I want to be there. I know, like I said, I know it's still a long ways away. You know, I can't predict the future, and so all I can do is be great today and then continue to be great tomorrow. But I've gotten to where I've gotten to because of that mindset, and the goal at the end, the very far end, is to be ready and to be able to go out there and play with the guys week 1 at Arrowhead. But I gotta take it day by day.
Matt, as far as getting there, you know, being out there with the guys, you have a history of, you know, coming back from injuries faster than expected. With this, and just being a football player, what's the difference between your body being 100% and you feeling 100%?
I don't know. I'm be honest with you. I know that whenever I get out there on the field, and I feel like I can be Patrick Mahomes, I'll be Patrick Mahomes. Like there's no like. I've never not felt like I'm 100%. Even when I have a sprained ankle, I feel like I'm 100% of what I can be. And so I'm gonna have that mindset when I go on the field, and when I get on the field, I'm gonna be myself. I'm not gonna hold back. I'm gonna lay it all on the line for my guys and my teammates.
Last two, Herbie and then Sam. Go, Herbie. Patrick, you got another Super Bowl MVP in the offensive huddle now, along with yourself. What are your impressions so far of Kenneth Walker?
I mean, he's a great. First off, he's a great dude. I think that's the first thing I noticed. Like you can tell he truly cares about football. He cares about his teammates. If he's not in the play, he's helping the guys on the sideline, and he's trying to learn and asking me questions and doing those things. And then he's a great football player. I mean, even from what y'all saw today, like it's special the way he's able to run the football, catch the football, do everything. And I said I'm kind of built like him, but not just like built like him yet. But he's gonna help. He's gonna help us a lot on this team by his mindset and the football player that he is.
Sam, last one.
Patrick, you mentioned just the not being able to do this kind of forced you to. Is that something I assume you work on it every offseason? Was that already going to be a point of emphasis this offseason?
It always is to me because that's something that I've been able to move a lot, so it's helped me. I've made a lot of big plays happening, scrambling, and doing that stuff. But as a quarterback, and especially as you continue to get older, you want to be able to make plays from within the pocket and throw it to the right guys and let these guys make plays. And that was going to be something that I continue to work at. But now I have no choice. If it's not there, I'm not able to scramble. So I got to get through my reads and throw it to the right guy. And so I've seen progress of that even in these first 3 days. Is like one times I might have scrambled and tried to make a crazy play happen. I've kind of just stayed in the pocket, got through the reads, and hit the appropriate guy. And I'm hoping that helps me out whenever I'm able to scramble and do those things again.
Thanks, Patrick.
All right, so that was Patrick Mahomes. A lot there. I definitely want to react to it, including I thought was really interesting when he talked about being forced to stay in the pocket right now, and could that actually end up helping him the rest of his career in an odd way? Let's react to that. Any other things that stood out to us from Patrick Mahomes?
Too, some others,
what he said about EB, Kenneth Walker there at the end. That's coming up next right here on Cody and Gold.
You're listening to Cody and Gold.
We're going to try to tickle your tonsils.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
That wreck really took everything off track. Can't work, can't help with the kids. The bills are stacking up.
Then stop waiting. Call the Car Crash Kings, SWL Injury Law. Car crashes, that's what they do.
Yeah?
Yeah, they go to work so you can get your life back and get paid what you're owed.
Don't get pushed around. Visit us at SWL Injury Law today for your free consultation. We're the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
Visit SWLinjurylaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
FanDuel is giving you even better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. And with more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment. From point spreads to player points to threes and so much more, you can build it all into one simple same-game parlay and go for an even bigger payout. So if you're betting a same-game parlay this NBA postseason, you can bet them with America's #1 sportsbook app with our friends over at FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. So head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. One more time, that's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips so you can check every stat, trend, and matchup all in one place. You can make your picks with confidence. Everything you need in just one app, so don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel right now, America's #1 sportsbook app and official partner of the NBA, and play your game. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You've heard Cody and I talk about our friends over at Centric, and they're gearing up for an AI sales event on Thursday, May 28th.
They'll teach you how to use AI as a daily sales assistant, draft emails, prep calls, maybe do prospect research, strengthen follow-ups,
or even apply AI to help you analyze deals and pipelines. They can do all of that over at Centric.
They'll even help you build repeatable AI sales workflows that support your daily selling activities. So take part in the AI sales event over at Centric, Thursday, May 28th. Go to Centric.com.
Chris Stigall lied about President Trump.
Donald Trump's not a conservative. I will not support Donald Trump.
And now he's lying about Nathan Willett.
Woke Willett spent $631,000 of your money on transgender outreach programs.
Those are flat-out lies from Chris Stigall, who attacks President Trump. And here's the proof. He voted against trans surgeries and trans bathrooms. Nathan Willett is a Christian, conservative, and seventh-generation North Missourian.
I'm Nathan Willett. I'll fight for President Trump, and I approve this message. Paid for by Nathan Willett for Congress.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
This report is brought to you by Bet365. Winning is everything.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, back here on Cody and Gold. So we heard from Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes this hour after OTA practice, and definitely a couple things there from Patrick Mahomes that I think are interesting and positives, no doubt, moving forward. Number one, just on his timeline, he was asked about it again. He acknowledged it's a long ways to go, but of course his goal is to play week 1 of the season. He's hit every single checkpoint so far. That's all you want to hear at this point for Patrick Mahomes as we sit on May 28th. And then he mentioned a couple things about what the injury at this point in the recovery is forcing him to do. And I wonder if there is not just a 2026 benefit, but the rest of his career benefit. And I don't want to overreact to his one comment. He's going to have to go and prove it. But He's forced to stay in the pocket right now. He's forced to not have the happy feet, if you will.
Go through his reads.
And we've talked about the footwork thing. People have acknowledged it much smarter than you and I that played the game and stuff about the footwork maybe being a problem for him the last year or two. If that is forcing him because of the injury to work on that and like that's what has to happen.
And like only work on that, right?
Then that could be a big positive for him moving forward.
Well. If he can stick with it, yeah. If it gets him out of the habit of run first, ask questions later, which he's not that, right? It's not to say Patrick Mahomes has never stood in a pocket and made a throw. But over the last 2 years, one of the bad habits I think he's gotten into is running too fast, using his legs too quick, going to that too fast. And so you're right. If all the way through training camp he's got to just stay in the pocket, that's a good thing.
This was I know he talked for a while. This is the part we were talking about that kind of stood out.
I told Coach Reed I think it's helping me a little bit because I can't move around, so it's kind of settling my feet down. It's kind of like when I hurt my ankle sometimes. It's like I can't scramble and I can't do these things, so it makes me sit in the pocket and go through the reads and do that stuff. So I'm gonna try to use it to my advantage. Like it's stuff that I can get better at as progression through the entire concept and stuff like that. And I don't have the ability to scramble and do that stuff right now, and so it should help me in those things that hopefully whenever I get that ability back, I still will go through the progressions at a higher rate than I've done in the past.
We'll see, as you said, like will it still be that way in November? Who knows? But I think there's a chance it's a real positive for him this season and potentially the remainder of his career. I don't want to overreact too much, but
well, I think in the first month or so he's going to run less too. So like it's not going to just be all this offseason stuff. It's going to be the first 4 to 6 games. He's probably not going to be able to go, I think, all the way in. Although admittedly he did say, when I'm on the field, I'm just going to be Patrick Mahomes and I'm just going to go full bore.
That's the attitude he should have.
There is no like I'm getting on the field and going half-ass or taking it easy on a play. But if you spend an entire offseason and you're recovering from a knee thing still, I think there is a chance that you're like, maybe I hang in the pocket on this one and figure it out from there. Overall, to me, it ends up being like a long-term net positive, especially if it's something he's already noticing. Like, I would have run there. Even in this practice, I would have run there and then thrown the ball because I want to get comfortable doing that. But because it's 7-on-7 and I can't, and I don't want to do that, I can't take that risk. They are still protecting him. I don't want to make it seem like they're not. He's not doing 11-on-11. Andy said he's not going to have many like jet sweep actions.
Yeah.
Anything where like a lineman could accidentally step on a foot, make him fall, anywhere he could actually run into somebody in slightly dicey footing. We're not taking any chances there, which is for the best.
And you heard him. He was asked about 11-on-11 drills, which he's not doing yet. He was asked, hey, do you think you'll be able to do that week 1 of training camp? And he doesn't know the answer to that yet.
He said essentially he's doing it. His all progressions and the way and the markers they want him hit are all 2 weeks away. Mm-hmm. He's hit every marker. He's done everything he needs to do. But it is a difficult thing to, and we've talked about this before, that's what makes this injury so why I still don't say 100% he's playing week 1. Even if I'm at
90
anymore, I'm probably, 85, 90%. The reason why I hold back any percentage is the unpredictability of recovering from these things. But everyone's made it very clear. He is one of the, I think, rare cases of will do anything to be great. And as much as we try to pretend like everybody's wired that way, they aren't. They just aren't. Everybody's not wired for greatness. Some people are hard workers. Some people are less hard workers. And then there's like that level that is like Tom Brady, like that exists in Patrick Mahomes or did exist in LeBron, in which not only are they more talented than you, but they will outwork your ass in every conceivable way. From all accounts, the way he handles this injury stuff is very much in that vein. And look, we saw one person on the text line being like, well, I guess we'll see Justin Fields week 1. I'm like,
I'm
not sure how that was your takeaway. He said, I'll do literally anything to be on a football field. He twice said his goal from the beginning was to be available week 1, and that is still his goal. Like he has not changed his opinion.
Nobody can guarantee anything, but I don't know how your takeaway from anything Mahomes or Andy said makes you think that it's less likely than it was.
He's got 3.5 full months
or something. Like,
I think we'll have a really good sense August 1st. Not even the first day of camp, but like a week or 2 into camp,
right before the preseason games.
We've enough to say, right before a first. And look, he's not playing a single snap in a preseason game. That'd be crazy.
Absolutely, right. Yeah. No chance.
Crazy.
No chance.
Honestly, it would be neglectful, and I would be actively mad at the Chiefs if they even allowed it. So they won't. But I think we'll get a better sense, Drew, there when they're like, there's some games. How many reps is he getting? Andy did say outside of 11-11, he's taking every single first team snap. So, like, he's still getting a majority of the throws. They're still giving him a lot of time. Now, Justin Fields, I want to work. I don't want him not getting any snaps. I want him to get his decent share because he might. He might have to start week 1 or he might have to start somewhere down the road. I don't want him unprepared. But all the injury stuff to me has been, up to this point, positive news. I also thought it stood out. The way he talks about Eric Bieniemy, I think in a weird way, like, makes it seem worse for Nagy in some ways. But also just like, he in particular gushes about what it is like. And you can hear that he's genuine about it. This is not like, I'm just saying this for a camera to make people feel good. He loves working with EB. He loves what EB demands of people. He likes what meetings sound like with Eric Bieniemy. He loves the way he works. They work really well together. That is the one thing I'll give him the pass on. You and I were like, really? You're just going to bring back EB, not change anything up? The one thing I'll say is the quarterback who I want to keep happy, he loves Eric Bieniemy, so I don't want to ignore
I think
that.
the part of that is, again, it's the accountability part of it. And again, we're not talking, when we say discipline and accountability, this is not that the Chiefs are now going to have not many flags on the field. That's not what anybody is meaning when they say accountability or whatever. It is, I think, the reason why, Mahomes likes him. Look, Matt Nagy, we'll see what he does in New York or whatever. Matt Nagy and Patrick Mahomes were very good friends. It's not they didn't have they had a great relationship. The problem is sometimes you need somebody that's going to be more of a jerk and that's going to push you a bit more. And it sounds
he's talking
like
about that with his Julie, the
trainer. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, her job security has to be on an all-time high. She seems amazing, and Patrick Mahomes trusts her. She's locked in for many, many, many years to come. And it sounds like he's amazing at what she does. So, but back to Eric Bieniemy. Yeah, look, I think the funny part was when he was asked about Eric Bieniemy right now, and he's basically said, yeah, they haven't even really seen Eric Bieniemy yet. Like, he turns it up another level in training camp. This is him being kind of calm.
I do
right
like
now.
that he's like, oh no, they haven't even seen like the dial get turned up. Like, are you kidding? This is just like, it's easy to be motivated May 28th if you got to work out for 2 days. Wait till you're on day 14 of St. Joe training camp. Yeah, it's 115 degrees outside in net heat. You're just like, oh, this feels like
better not be 115.
Death. I know.
Better not
be
while we're
I'm
up there.
skipping that day. I'll tell you right now. It's like if it's heat index, not even actual heat index of 115, my ass isn't going to camp. I'm taking that one.
You're just done, huh?
I'm going in sick. I'll do whatever.
Still need to get Drew up there.
I'm not. You remember when I was just talking about those people who thrive to be great? That ain't me on 115 today heat. Eric Bean had to yell at my ass. I'm not going up there.
You don't got that dog in you, Cody?
Not for training camp, I don't. Not for training camp radio, I don't.
For day 1, maybe. Not day 12.
Yeah, no. I don't have that dog in me for that level of training camp. But I think there is really something to the Eric Bieniemy stuff that the thing he does best, in my opinion, is motivate winning teams to stay winning. I think his message falls flat with losers. Losing teams. Losing franchises, teams who are not accustomed to be driven to greatness. Kansas City's standard is set so high that you really don't have a choice but to play under that standard. And so when Eric Bieniemy turns the dial up at training camp, you got to listen to him because, like you said, it starts with Mahomes and Andy. Andy never stops working, never stops thinking, calls you at 3 a.m. with a play. Patrick Mahomes never stops working, never stops leading. He's always there. He works harder than you at every single turn. So when Eric Bieniemy comes in, you're like, damn, standards is high here. Like, I think it's different, like in Washington and UCLA. The reason why I think it didn't work is people who are comfortable, not used to it, not used to winning franchises. And all of a sudden you're getting held to a standard no one's been asking you to do. It doesn't work there. Or that's why it didn't work there. They weren't ready to work at the level Eric Bieniemy demands. And so, like, it might be a narrow window of where he is at his maximum successful, but I think Kansas City's probably the place up to this point, or maybe that's why it worked in Chicago. By the way, nobody said it didn't work in Chicago. They said it didn't work in Washington. It didn't work at UCLA.
He was also more of a running back coach than anything in Chicago. But I get your point. Yeah. Look, I think it's also, whether it's Eric Bieniemy or anybody, everything seems great when you're winning anyway. I mean, I don't care whether it's football or baseball or anything. Like, all of a sudden, everybody feels great when the team's winning. So whether, the coach that you may not like as much, well, when you're winning, you probably are like, you know what? It's working, so I'm good. But the coach can have the same mentality and you're losing and you don't like the coach, you don't think it's working. That's kind of what you're saying what happened in Washington as well. If they were winning in Washington all of a sudden with Eric Bieniemy on staff, they all would have loved him. It is true. Sometimes it is that win games and all of a sudden people think you're great.
Yeah.
That happens in every sport.
It's why you got to be careful. Like, let's just say the Royals right now. They're like, let's say one of the players doesn't like the hitting coach.
Sure.
It doesn't even really matter who. They're like, I don't think Zumwalt's doing a good job for me. Easy to say when you're not hitting and the team's losing.
Right.
You know, like, why do you think Bobby and Vinny and some of these other guys do like dating coach? They've had success under him. They've won games with him. They've gone to the playoffs with him. It's easy to stand behind your guy or not your guy when things are good. It's harder to stand behind that person when things aren't going well and you're looking for someone to blame other than yourself. And so, like, sometimes I think that's a really hard lesson for these teams to learn. Look, I wasn't thrilled that they settled into EB, but it wasn't the EB part. It was they
didn't search and talk to anybody else.
You didn't. It wasn't a real search. Yeah, it was just we'll bring back Eric Bieniemy and that's fine. And it made me wonder sometimes if Andy Reid was willing to adjust with the league once again, as is required constantly by a coach, rather than just surround yourself with other people. That's why the O'Shea thing softened it a little bit. Okay, hey, you know what?
And DeMarco Murray.
And DeMarco Murray's like, all right, you got no ties to these people essentially, and you're willing to bring them in. Good. I just want you to bring in some people whose voice you haven't been sitting in a meeting with this entire time. A fresh perspective. Somebody else telling you the same thing. And look, for all I know, Chad O'Shea has told Xavier Worthy some of the 5 same things the previous wide receiver coach heard. But maybe you like it more coming from that guy because he's experienced and he's not the guy that you didn't have success under.
I will say this. I mean, Mac put out the video. I mean,
he was
just because somebody is yelling doesn't mean that suddenly they're a great coach. But the intensity, he's working on the drills. I don't remember seeing that a whole lot with prior wide receiver coach. So that's
I think that's why it didn't work in Washington. Yeah. It's not even that. It's EB. It's him being himself, and players don't like that. Like I think that it takes what Andy Reid does that makes EB. It makes it work with EB. Where even if he is a little harsh on the players at times, he's doing it for the betterment of you, the player. And some players take offense to that stuff. They don't want to be coached up like that. Other players do. And I think when you got the pedigree of winning, like Eric Bieniemy knows, this is what it takes for you to win. This is what I've been there. I've done that. Like you got being able to say that to a Washington team that hasn't done that. Sometimes it's hard to hear, and some guys just don't want to hear it, and they're content without doing that. It's maybe why it didn't work in college either. College kids don't want to hear that stuff,
especially in a bad program like UCLA.
But in the same breath, though, how good do you want to be? Because a guy that's been there and done that is more useful to you, even if he is more harsh or critical. It sounds like because they've been there, done that. They know what it takes compared to the guy that's a little bit easier to work with, is a little bit nicer, but the results don't necessarily come at the same pace as they did when you have a guy like Eric Bieniemy there who's been there, done that, and it might come across as critical, but I don't think EB does it because he doesn't like players.
No.
Otherwise he wouldn't. Otherwise Andy Reid would not have him as assistant coach.
Also, I think it's easier for him to have what he does and be successful when you have a core group that's already been part. Like it's easier for EB to do this when he's got the support of Patrick Mahomes.